'cause I'm a wheelborn baby. Always burn down the road. Yeah, I'm a wheelborn baby. Always burning down the road. I'm a wheelborn baby. This life never gets old. Come on, wheel burners, yeah, burn with me. Come on, wheel burners, yeah, burn with me. Oh, take a ride now on the Wheelburner Express. Yeah, Wheelburner Express, baby.
Good morning. I think that's funny. Chaos. Chaos is asking if we're getting blizzards yet. No blizzards, Chaos, but we are cold. We are cold. Hold on one sec. Sorry about that. I think it's funny that, well, it's almost ironic that Southern Americans or Americans think that Canada has snow all the time. You know, it's July. You guys are soaking at about 110 degrees in Arizona, and we're supposed to have snow and igloos, and we're out walking our penguins and, you know, feeding our polar bears. So, no, man, we don't have snow yet. We've had a couple light dustings. Nothing overly serious. Nothing, you know, to jump off. Nothing that jumps off the page. I think last week we had maybe an inch, but it lasted a couple of hours on the ground and then it was gone. It buggered off. But we've got cold because Alberta's so flat. No, it's like North Dakota, South Dakota, Iowa. It's so goddamn flat that the wind, there is always a wind, especially in the winter. Come October, November, December, January, there's always a wind, and it is a cold wind. It's usually coming out of the north. So right now, I don't know what the temperature is out here right now. We can do a real quick temperature check if anybody really gives a flying fart. But right now, currently in Strathmore, where I'm at, it's 5 degrees Celsius. So what's that, like 36, 37, 38 degrees, something like that. So it's not below freezing. You know, I was just out having a smoke, and I got on a pair of jeans, and I got a t-shirt, and I had a hoodie on. And so, you know, I was okay to have a smoke with that. Anything below zero, I'm still okay with just the hoodie. But once we get down to like -10, -15, then you want to throw a jacket on. So anyway, haven't been around for a while. Sorry. All weather stuff I've been watching says we're going to get hit hard this winter at the beginning or it's just gonna be cold. All winter is like cold. All winter like cold, cold. Well, Chris, you know what? It's winter, dude. It's winter. I don't know what to tell you. Winter is winter. I'm 55. I'm coming up. I'll be 56 in December, and I'll tell you what, that'll be my 56th winter. As a Canadian or even as an American, it's like, hey, you know what? Don't be surprised. It's wintertime. You got the four. Everybody in North America has got the four seasons, and then we all get excited, or we all lose our shit when winter comes, and people, oh my God, it's so cold. Well, you knew it was coming. It's not like you can say they just dropped it. Winter just dropped in on you. It didn't. Um, Now, mind you, here in Canada, sometimes we get more extreme weather than you guys do down there. I don't think the weather where I'm at is any different than if you live in North Dakota, South Dakota, parts of northern Iowa, Minnesota. You guys pretty much get the same weather there. But if we go farther north of where I am, you go up to Fort Mac or even farther north than that. Then we'll get into some extreme cold. When we were up doing some ice road trucking, we were in minus 30s, minus 40s. Guys were not turning their trucks off. So what's going on, Karen? Good to see you. Seal. See, I'm thinking about northern Canada. I'm talking about seals here. Ryan Abs. Nice name. Are you promoting your abs, Ryan? Fraser Valley, good to see you. I'm just here to support. I won't be chatting. Hey, man. You know what? I appreciate that. I got two drinks going at once. I'm drinking Orange Crush, and I got coffee. Right? I'm bouncing back and forth. That is how my morning has been great so far. I started my morning fantastic. And now my brain is scattered, and I figured, oh, what the hell? Brain is scattered. Let's go live. So let's drink Orange Crush and and fucking coffee at the same time. So, oh, hold on, it's coming back that's coming back. We don't need that. So yeah, cold weather's here. What can we do? It's wintertime. The only good thing is that I don't have to drive a truck through it. I don't have to be out there with the rest of you maniacs, wheeling 18 wheels around in and out of fucking snow, especially where I live here, because I've got the Alberta mountains, Alberta and BC mountains here, going over the Coquihalla in the wintertime. Summertime is one of the most beautiful drives you will ever see in your entire life. I don't care if you're a Canadian driver, a U.S. driver, it doesn't matter to me. I've been across all the mountain ranges in pretty much in North America, and in my humble opinion, I still think the Canadian Rocky Mountains are still they're still a sight to see. If you have not been across them, I strongly suggest that you do. It's just, don't do it in the winter. So this winter here is my first winter not driving in a long time, and you know what? I'm quite happy about it. I'll be honest with you. Everything is falling in place for us going back this week to pack it all up. Well, Karen, I'm glad to hear that. I truly am. Hopefully your packing goes smooth. Everything falls into place for you there as well. No headaches, no hassles. Let's get out. Let's get back to the house or back to the apartment. Get everything packed up and let's get back out there as fast as you can. Hopefully you can maybe pull this off or pull a miracle out of your ass and you can get it done before too much snow falls. I know that drive from Ontario or from where you live in Ontario out to Nova Scotia, it can be a bitch in the winter. I've done that drive 1,000 times. I've done it a couple of times in a car, and I've done it I don't know how many times, too many times to count in a truck. So you guys be safe. Hopefully that you pull that one off. I'm actually going to Merritt. I can't speed. You can't spiel. You can't spell. Don't judge me. And I'm going hunting. Hey man, but no better way to spend an afternoon. I am not a hunter, believe me. It's something I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to try it. I've never, like, these are, as a Canadian man, these are things that people shake their head at when I tell them. It's like, I don't play hockey. I watch hockey. I don't play hockey. I'm a baseball guy. But as a Canadian man, people are like, you don't play fucking hockey? What's the matter with you? No, I don't play hockey and I don't play lacrosse. I don't hunt, you know. People lose their minds and they go, what do you mean you don't hunt? What Canadian doesn't hunt? Well, this one don't. That one there is not because I don't want to. It's just, you know what? I've never taken the time to go and get the appropriate FACs or firearm certificates and taken the courses and done it. So hunting is, I don't fish. You know, Canada has, more freshwater lakes than any other country in the world. We got lakes up here in Canada that no human being has ever stepped foot into. And you'd have to fly into to get to. You can't even drive to or ATV to. And yet I don't fish, you know, I don't play hockey. I don't hunt and I don't fish. Jesus Christ. What have I been doing with my life, eh? Have Alan all set up with kidney doctor and staying with my brother till we find a place. Got disability support going. Excellent. We should have everything all packed up by the second week of November. Well, Karen, hopefully it works out for you. Truly, hopefully it works out for you. I'd like to see you guys out there, you and Alan out there, settled, off the road, Alan getting treatment, you guys getting everything you need before the winter. And just remember, obviously, you're from there. The winters are even a little more harsh out there than say they are in Ontario, because you got it coming in right off the Atlantic Ocean there. So, hopefully, Karen, that works out for you. You're grandfathered in if you're born after a certain year. Your mom, well, I was born in 69. 1960, not 1869. Don't let the gray hair fucking fool you here. It's not 1869, but it's 1969 I was born in. And so I don't know, does that grandfather me in? Oh, excuse me. So as you can see, the reflection in the glasses, because I've got I got 4 monitors going here. Actually, I got 3 going. One's over here just doing nothing. It's a beautiful scene of the Alberta Rocky Mountains, but 1683 was when you were born. You know what, Fraser? Sometimes I feel like it. Sometimes I truly do feel like it. The body can't keep up with the brain. You can keep your brain young, you can keep your brain healthy, you can keep your brain functioning, but sometimes the body just does not want to follow suit. Today is not one of those days. Today is one of those days where I'm feeling actually really good, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. I'm just in a really good space today. And but any other day, not any other day, but there's other days where 1683, yeah, I could probably believe that. Today was one of those days. I bent over this morning and I was picking up one of my socks off the floor, and I looked at Victoria. I stood up straight and I looked over at Victoria, and she's looking at me like what? And I'm like, that didn't hurt. And she's like, what? I said, that didn't hurt. I bent over, picked up the sock, and so I don't know. Something's going on with me today. Today, physically, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling strong. He's got that. Dude, if you're going to say that I have erectile function, is it I've got erectile function? Because I've got that. The dysfunction, not so much, but I've got the function. Maybe that's why I'm in such a good mood this morning. Who knows? But anyway, let's get back. The glasses. So these are just a cheap pair of reading glasses, right? I just need these for reading, and the reflection on the glass here or on the monitors here, there's nothing I can really do about that right this moment. But I have taken care of that. I've gone in and had a set of eye googles made, a proper eye googles made. And so we should be able to knock off some of this glare. I had some problems with my eyes last week. So I had to go, sorry, I don't know what it is, trim nose hair or what, but I got an itch. But anyway, I had a couple problems with the eyes last week. So I had to go back into the doctor and get retested for a couple of things, for depth and for vision and whatever like that. It was not as bad as I thought. I thought that I was kind of going down that road again where, if anybody's been following this channel for a long time, you knew that, last year, year and a half ago, I almost went blind. I had both eyes have complete retinal detachment, and I had to have multiple surgeries on both my eyes. And the fact that I have vision at all today is an absolute fucking miracle. So I got worried, and Victoria got worried, and so I got myself booked in and got some tests done and turns out the eyes are okay. There's as I'm getting older, right? As I'm getting older, your eyes don't get better as you get older. They usually, start to degrade a little more. So from the time that I've had surgery and the time that I've had some problems, up until now, it's just degraded a little. It's nothing serious, and it was an easy fix. It was an easy fix. I was very, very, very pleased after going in. It took them about an hour to diagnose certain things, and they were able to fix it with a different type of eyeglasses. And part of that will be that, part of the glasses will enhance my vision, give me back, pretty much 20/20 vision again, hopefully. But part of that is that you can pay extra and have the coating and all the non-reflective and all that shit. So we will have non-reflective coatings on the glasses. So hopefully this shit will knock off. That was last week. I should have those glasses probably this week. Yeah, I would think this week. They said 7 to 10 days. So when anybody tells you 7 to 10 days, usually it's 5, 6. So I don't know what we're at on that. For I think it was last Wednesday or Thursday. I think it was Thursday that we did that. So hopefully I've got everything sorted out. And but anyway, it'll make it better for you guys that you're not looking like you guys can see almost every screen that I look over here. I got this one. I look over here. So that's a pain in the ass for you. I know that it's a pain in the ass for me when I'm watching somebody, and they got that reflection, and it's a pain. It is a pain in the ass, and I appreciate you guys being patient about this. Some people got day dysfunction. Well, not today, brother. Nikki Lee, damn good to see you, sweetheart. How are you doing this morning? I'm going early. Nikki Lee goes late. She goes live late, and I go live early. And sometimes, obviously she's in bed while I'm going live in the morning because she was up half the fucking night doing her live. So, but damn good to see you. I love Nikki Lee. She's got a great channel when she goes live. I love her shorts. She's got some really good inspirational shorts. But I also really, really just enjoy sitting around chatting with her when she's live, when I'm awake, for Christ's sake. I don't think she's in the same time zone as me. I think she's actually an hour ahead of me for time zones. So when she goes live, there's times I'm usually in bed. But hey, I love sitting around. She calls it like she sees it. I respect that about her. She has great conversation. She's got a great great group of people over there in her chat. She's got great members over there, and they just sit around. And a lot of the time, Nikki just sits around and she's talking about everyday life situations and shit going on. Sometimes it's funny as hell. Sometimes it's funny because life sometimes is just fucking funny. But then sometimes it can take a serious turn, and she'll walk down that road. And you know what? I fucking love that. I also love the fact that she swears probably more than I do. And I don't know what it is, but I love it. So anyway, Nikki Lee, great to see you, honey. If you're still here, thank you for being here. Stinky Fox, nice name. Stinky Fox 5422. Hello, good to see you. Nita's Cooking Channel. How the hell are you? How the hell are you? Damn good to see you. Nita, I have not seen you around. Actually, that's a lie. That's a lie. I've not seen you in my chat. I just saw you this morning. I was just sitting, making my coffee downstairs or whatnot, and Sterling went live. So I did pop in. I didn't say anything, but I did pop in and just, catch a bit of what he was doing. I think he's still live right now. He went live this morning on one channel, shut it down, and then he went live on a second channel on his other channel. So, I don't think I caught the first one, but I caught the second one. And there, of course, was Nita. So Nita's cooking show. Great to see you. Nita, where did I meet you? Nita is, I think Nita's in Ontario, Canada. She's a Canadian. Well, I think she's Filipino, but she lives in Canada. And I think she's down in Toronto, or the GTA area. She's down there somewhere. She's got a good little cooking channel over there. You ever heard of the band Tool? Sassy Sasquatch, where the fuck do you think I live? Of course I've heard of the band Tool. I live in Canada, but like we still have music in Canada. We're not sitting around with banjos and violins, So yeah, I've heard of the band Tool. It's not a band that I actively listen to, but if somebody else is playing it, and or if it comes on one of those stations, or the Sirius satellite stations for hard rock or heavy metal, I do listen to it. I'll listen to it. But it's not a band that I've actively gone out and checked out, and I don't have any of their music in my playlist. But it's not a bad band altogether. Limes 9, whoo! I don't know what Limes 9. Oh, you know what? I don't know if I got a great big gas bubble, and I don't know if it's coming up or going down. I don't know why I just shared that with you as well, but hey, I did. Deal with it. Do me a favor, would you? Hit the like button. Just stroke it, poke it, choke it, tap it, make a mess on it, lick it, whatever you got to do. Just hit the like button. You never watch my lives, Nita. I never get your notifications. I am sub to you. Hold on, Nita's. There we go. Nita's cooking show. Yeah. There. Nita, I'm subscribed to your channel, right? My notifications are turned on. I don't get your notifications, honey. I have a new video. Okay. Well, you know what? I will definitely take time and go check it out. It's one of those things that and this is just the way I am, and it's of no insult to anybody that's got a channel. If I don't get your notifications, I don't actively spend time going around looking. Like, let's just say Nita's got a channel, Fraser's got a channel, a whole bunch of Nikki's got a channel. If I don't get your notifications, I'm subscribed to enough people that if I don't get notifications for your channel that you're going live or that you've dropped a video, oh, hold on. Is it Fraser says I don't watch lives? Sorry. I just got a text message from somebody else watching going, it was Fraser Valley. Okay, sorry, Fraser. Well, it's the same thing, Fraser. I know I'm sub to your channel because oh fuck, let's go check it out. All right, hold on. Why'd you have to have such a long goddamn name, son? Jesus. Go to channel. Yeah, dude, I'm subscribed to yours as well, Fraser Valley Farmer. Don't know what to tell you, man. Like I said, if I don't see the notifications, I don't actively go out and look at the channel, right? So it's not like I have a list of like channels. I don't sit there and go, okay, I have to go today. I have to go see what Nita's done, what Fraser Valley's done, what Nikki's done, what Berta Proud Dad's done, da 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 da. Unless I get the notification which comes up and says, you know, Fraser Valley just dropped a video, or Fraser Valley's gone live, then I'll click on it and I'll watch and I'll come in. But if I don't get them, um, sorry, man, I don't. You know what? When I'm sub to I don't know how many channels. It's a lot, right? I'm sub to a lot of bloody channels. So if I don't get your notification, it's just, you know, I don't forget about you. It's not that I don't care, you know, because I do. But on the other hand, you know what? I can't keep track of every single channel that goes live, and I don't get a notification for. So again, Fraser Valley, sorry about that. There it was. It came up. Glad it didn't go down. Oh, enough. You know what? Enough carbonation. That's what's causing me the problems. Oh, there we go. Number one channel is you. Well, not today. It's not. We've got. I don't know what's going on. What I think I'm hurting myself because what's happening is, um, I'll go live for 5, 6, 7 days in a row, right? When Victoria is working, she does 7-day hitches. So she'll do 7 days in a row at 12 and a half hours a day. And, you know, that's that. And then she gets 7 days off. So when she's working, like for example, today she's at work, um, then I do my lives, right? I come in the morning, have my coffee, take care of the dog, whatever, you know, and I do live. So I'll do like 5 or 6, maybe 7 in a row. But then when she's home for that 7 days, I want to spend time with her, right? So I'm not getting out of bed. You know, I do get out of bed that early anyway, but you know, I don't want to get out of bed, and I don't want to, you know, I want to spend time with her because you know, she's worked her ass off for 7 days, and then you know, we've got things we want to do and places we want to go and things we want to see and people we want to visit and whatnot like that. So when she's home, then I don't go live. um, but that hurts my channel because for 7 days, like this is the first day I think I've been live in like 8 days because I didn't go live yesterday or the day before or whatnot. So anyway, there's been a couple of days since I've been live, so then my algorithm kind of goes flat, right? And then it takes me 5 or 6 days of going live every day to get the algorithm going again. And you know, usually on the sixth day, or on the fifth day or the sixth day, you know, there's 40, 50, 60 people in the chat because the algorithm's live and the channel's been active, and YouTube pushes active channels. But then on the seventh day or eighth day, there's nothing again. So, you know, I don't know. I don't know. Um, I like doing it this way because I enjoy my time. You know, I enjoy my time at home. I enjoy the time with her. So, what's going on, Send It? Good to see you, brother. How the hell are you doing this morning? Driving safe, working hard, or working safe and driving whatever? I thought this was AI generated. Dog, when did you wake up this morning? How much did you pay for your sense of humor? How much did you see? I can't even talk. Anyway, you've been here for a few minutes. You've been here since 7:40. I apologize, Johnny. Good to see you, brother. The horizontal lives only could be doing it too. Some people like them, some people don't. You might mix in some normal lives, not just horizontal. You know what, man? Chaos. That's some good advice. That's some damn good advice. You know what? I will definitely check that out. Maybe tomorrow we'll do a horizontal, and we'll see how that goes. I know that with the way YouTube used to work, when you do the lives and you do them vertically, like the way I'm doing them, it throws you into the live stream or the short stream as well. So I don't know. We'll have to see how that works. I'll do a horizontal tomorrow, and see if the numbers get any better as well. Also, I'm thinking I'm going to start maybe making some shorter videos. Not long form videos again, but I think I'm going to start making some short form videos again, and start putting that kind of stuff up. Just some content on what's going on. How much you make? How much do you make on YouTube? Dude, what I make in a month, what this channel generates in a month, you probably made in an hour of working this morning. So unless you're making like 20 bucks an hour, unless or 15 or 20 bucks an hour, you made more in an hour than this channel makes. I'm not in this for money, buddy. I'm not in this for money at all. I'm not trying to, at some point, I am going to, put more focus and more attention on this channel. And I've got a couple of other things. Guard Dog has an idea of some things, that I want to do. And there's a couple other little things, but for right now, I'm not pushing this channel out. I'm not trying to make money. I'm not trying to make a living doing this. If this channel makes anything, most of it comes from either super chats or private donation or whatever. And we don't keep that anyway. It all gets donated. So, don't get me wrong. If the channel was making 50 grand a month, yeah, I'd probably, I'd be making that. That would be my main source of income, because I don't make $50,000 a month, doing what I do now. So, but no, it doesn't make jack shit for money. In order to make money on YouTube, you really need to be focused on ads, ad revenue, sponsorship, um, you know, super chat, begging for money. As you can see across the scroll going across the top of the screen, we don't beg for money here. There's a lot of other channels out there that constantly go on, my channel is, I own and operate this channel, and your financial support helps keep this channel going. Well, I call bullshit on that, because the StreamYard cost me $34 a fucking month. The YouTube channel itself cost me nothing, a mic, a couple of cameras, and some shit like that. Over time, we're talking minimal investment here. So if you're out there begging for money and you're begging for super chats, you're begging because you're pocketing it, because somebody on welfare can afford to fucking run a YouTube channel. Be honest with you. You don't need a mic, you don't need a camera. You can do this sitting on your phone in your backyard, as I've proved it. I've done it many a times all summer long, sitting out that backyard there with just my phone. So you don't need all this shit that we've got going. So anybody that tells you, this channel is supported, unless you've got a cause. Okay, unless you've got a cause. There's a couple of channels around that I watch, and they do ask for donations and or for money, but they've got a cause, whether they're fighting, or a lot of them are kind of like whistleblowers that are out there working, trying to bring attention to certain things, whether it be government or politics, politics, government, or really whatever. But they're trying to work on that, and they require money for certain things. That I don't have an issue with, but I'm not that. All right, I'm not. I don't ask for money. I don't beg for money. I don't want your money. If you for any reason feel the need to throw a super chat in there, that's fine. I appreciate it. But you know what? It's not something that we're gonna ask for. I would rather you hit the like button than send a super chat. Be honest with you. You know, it's just the way I'm operating the channel right now. You don't need money at all. Like I said, you can do this on minimal investment. If you've got an iPhone or a Samsung, or even an older phone, you can do this. You don't need money. So anybody that says that your money, your donations keep this channel going, I call bullshit on that. And there's a lot of them. There's a lot of channels out there that are just absolutely begging for money. And I guarantee you they're not it doesn't cost if the guy gets $450 or $500 a month in super chats, it's costing him $30 to keep that channel running, and he's pocketing the rest. And you know what? In some cases, so be it. You know what? So be it. You know what? There are people out here and they're trying to make a living doing this, and this is their source of income, then hey, beg away. But I ain't one of them. Freeway, good to see you, man. Hey, what a day. You know what? We're not having a bad day we're not having a bad morning this morning. Coffee's hot, pop is cold, everything's working. I woke up on this side of the grass. Thank God. Brian, we might get might do a few videos when we get down there. You know what? When you've moved there, I would love to see that, Karen. I really would. Actually, something else just popped in. The other thing is about equipment. Like if you're going to do a YouTube thing, equipment. You know, I know a couple of guys out there right now that have small YouTube channels, and yet they have spent thousands and thousands of dollars on cameras, microphones, GoPros, not just one. We're talking fucking multiple GoPros and new top of the line GoPros. I don't even know what they're at. 13, GoPro 13 or whatever. Some of those things go for, $700-800, and they're doing all of that, trying to, give you guys content, and then they're begging for money to help pay for all of that. Well, you know what? Build the channel first. Build your content, build your channel, do all that. Save your money, buy the stuff, buy the stuff. If you've got it, once you're monetized as a YouTube channel, you can incorporate a small business and put the YouTube channel can be that incorporation. You can incorporate that. And then if you really have to, then you can turn around and guess what? That can be your business. And then you can, try to build it and make a living and whatnot. And then you can get certain tax deductions and shit like that. Right. But if you're just, if you've got a small channel of 200, 300 or 500, or even if you're monetized, say you got over 1,000 people and you've got your watch hours and all your shit in there, and you're spending, $3,000, $4,000 on equipment, and then you have to turn around and beg people to pay because you just put yourself in debt to do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Take the times. Start with a phone. Guys, like this microphone was like $200. It wasn't expensive. Camera, I think $90. And I've only got one. I've got the one here that I use. Laptop, okay. Well, that's an expense, but you know what? I had the laptop anyway because for business and shit. But that kind of shit. I don't have any kind of high end shit here. I don't have a great big board, a monitor board here. I don't have any of that kind of stuff. I am looking at that kind of stuff, right? I'm eventually going to do something, and because there are other things that I need to do or that I would like to do. But you know what? I'm not going out and spending, that kind of money on that quite yet. Tolga's here. Oi, oi, good to see you, Tolga. Damn good to see you. Saw you bopping around over in Sterling's. Sterling's live there. It was good to see you up and around and active. I was talking with who's I talking with? I was talking with Tyke Trucking yesterday and the day before. And he says that he was talking to you, and you guys were talking about silver and sterling and shit like that. Or not sterling like sterling wheel, but sterling silver and shit like that. Man, once you get Robert talking, I don't know if he's the same with you, Tolga, but once you get Robert talking, once you get Tyke talking, holy crap, it's hard to turn it off. Not that I wanted to, because I was actually learning a lot from him. Just on certain aspects of things, and believe it or not, it's an area that I know nothing about, right? Like the purchase and the purchase of silver and gold, how to do it, where to do it, the appropriate places, the time to buy, not to buy, when, and then going back in the market and watching, from say 3 years ago, and watching the trend as silver has been going you know, climbing. So anyway, but he was talking, and he brought you, he dragged you into the conversation, Tolga, and that's fine. That he was just saying that he's spoken to you about this as well, and but yeah, I don't know if it's the same with you as it is with me. But once you get tight going, man, especially if he's passionate about something, right? And Robert is one of those, and I truly believe that he may be on the right path, right? He might actually, he's on to something here, and he's on the right path, and it's something he's passionate about buying silver and gold. The dollar is eventually going to go away, and you know what? You're going to need something to support yourself. I don't know. I started my YouTube channel with a Polaroid camera. No, dude, that was your OnlyFans channel, and you were taking pictures of your dick and your feet with a Polaroid camera. You know what? Those made a big comeback, a few years ago. I couldn't believe it when I saw that. I was going through Walmart, and you know, Polaroid cameras. Now they didn't look like Freeway. Remember back in the day, the Polaroids were like this fucking big, right? Sorry, they were this fucking big, like this great big, like big flash cube on the top of it, and but now they're much smaller, much more compact. The Polaroids used to come out, I think they were like not 5x7, they're probably like 3x5 or something like that. Now they come out and they're just tiny little like that. So it's like those pictures when you would go into the city, and you get those picture what do you call those photo rooms, like on the street. You go in and put $1 in, and you get 5 pictures taken, you know, and you and all your friends make stupid faces at the camera. That's what the Polaroid. Anyway, all of my, not all of them, but a bunch of my kids went out and bought these Polaroids, and they thought it was the greatest thing since sliced bread. And I'm looking at them going, Jesus Christ, you know, that is so, you know, old. You know, Polaroids were when I was a kid. You know, my grandmother had a Polaroid. Like if you go and look at my grandmother's, well, she's passed away now, but if you go look at my grandmother's photo albums from when all the grandkids were little, they're all Polaroids, right? And then my father, who was an avid picture taker, he had like back in those days, it was a good camera, a Pentax, and da 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 da. And on my mom and dad's photo albums are regular pictures, and now all of a sudden there's friggin' Polaroids again, and so I think for a couple of years, every year at Christmas, I'd get a Polaroid picture of this or a Polaroid of that, and it's like, Jesus Christ, you guys have digital technology at your fingertips, right? At your fingertips, you have digital technology, and you're messing around with a Polaroid, and they think it's great, right? They think it's absolutely great. They take the picture, the goddamn thing comes out. They walk around the house for 10 minutes, you know, flicking it like this, trying to, no, whatever. I just thought that was funny when you said that. It took me back, Freeway. It took me back to thinking, you know what? Yeah, Polaroids. But that's how you started your channel, taking Polaroid pictures of your bird. That a boy. Oh yes, that's the reason I've read 11 to 12 hours along 7 days a week. Well, there's a lot to think about. There's a lot to investigate, and there's a lot to learn for me, Tolga, for me. I know that certain things in life, I have an idea. I know what you do, and you learn about stuff like this, and you're much more active with stuff like this, and you learn much faster than I do. And so when I'm investigating, or I'm looking certain things up, or I'm trying to track trends, and I do it much slower. I think Robert is very well. He's been doing it for years and years and years now. So he's got it down to a science. He knows buy here, buy this, do this, da, 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 da. Probably you're in the same boat as that. Me, I'm at entry level, dude. Okay, I'm at entry level. For sure. He also knows how the system is tricking the people, and knows how you can defend your fortune against that. And that's what he's pushing, and not pushing, I don't mean in a negative way pushing, but that's what he's pushing at me. He's like, Brian, this is what you need to learn. Okay. This is what you need to learn. This is passive income. This is, this is retirement money. This is whatever, however way you want to, whatever category you want to put that in. This is the way to go with this, and this is how to do it, and this is how to purchase it, so that you're not paying, tax on it. You're not paying, there's certain ways to do it, and that's what I'm learning from Robert. But he did it like he did like a complete information dump on me the other day, and there was so much. Tolga, there was so much, man, and it took me. I had to literally like tell him like slow down. I can't take all of this. I can't, it's going to take, he gave me so much information that it's going to take me a couple of days of going through, looking at what he's told me to look at. He has sent me certain links in certain areas. And once I go through it, but that's the good thing about having a friend like Robert, right? He's freely giving me this information. Like, this is information that if you were dealing with a broker or something, like, you'd be paying for, and he's actually giving it to me for nothing, right? Just out of love. So, but there's a lot, and there's a lot. But a good thing is, if I have any questions, he's just a phone call away. So I'm very grateful for that. I'm so cheap. I bought a mouse from the dollar store. I've never bought a mouse from the dollar store. Actually, I just ordered my Iron Man mouse. I just got this a couple of weeks ago. Actually, I didn't buy it. Victoria found it. She was scrolling around online doing her fucking Google Queen thing that she does. Um, and she came across that, and she sent it to me, and she's like, "Do you like that?" And I went, "Yeah, that's pretty cool." Blah 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 blah. Fuck, it showed up in the mail the next day. Showed up on the porch the next day. Amazon brought it the next day. So yeah, this is pretty good. This is pretty good. It's fully functioned, does everything. It's pretty good quality. It's wireless, cordless, whatever. Yours was $3, dude. I don't know what that cost. I never asked her. I you know what? I don't ask her how much shit is, right? When we buy things, I don't, if she orders something like that, I don't ask her how much it is. I don't care. And for the most part, we're both pretty much the same. Now I don't do a lot of ordering online, only because of my personality. That if I was to start ordering shit online, there'd be a stack of boxes Monday through Friday on my fucking front porch. There really would. I would be buying everything and anything that I could get my fingers on. Um, so I don't, but occasionally I do. I ordered something online the other day. Victoria's birthday's coming up, and I know she's listening. And haha, sucker, it's going to be here today, and you ain't going to see it. So um, I know she's listening to this. So, but when I do order something, hey, I got to control myself. I ordered something for her birthday, and then, of course, then you might like this, or you might like this. And of course, I'm going, yes, I do like this. Oh, wow. Yes, I do like that too. And it's everything I can do to keep my finger off the mouse, like from click, click, click. Because man, I would be, I would be ordering everything. I am terrible. Key points are being patient and consistent for sure. That's why we are being happy when the prices are going down, because we know that we can buy more stuff via cheap prices with the same money. Exactly. And that's what another thing that I'm learning, right? Like, buying silver and gold is, there are a lot of similarities to, say, buying stocks, right? You watch the price, it dips, it goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. You buy it when it's down because it's eventually going to go back up. But Robert, this broke my heart. Robert was showing me stuff that he was buying it at certain, like, years ago, and he was showing it to me. He was buying it at this price here, and now it's up here, and I'm going, fuck. Did I miss the boat on that one? You know, but and then Victoria turned to me and she goes, "Yeah, so when we start buying it, it's up here." I said, "Yeah, but if you look at the gap between where Robert did it, and there was a 3-year gap when he bought that, and then it was down here, and now it's up here. So if I'm buying it up here, that's going to be considered down here, right? And in 3 years, it's going to be up there. So yes, I'm paying more for it than Robert did initially, but in the 3 year, say 3 to 5 year investment, because it's not a short-term plan, unless you're investing $10 million, which, I don't have 10 million sitting around right now. So unless you're doing it that way, if you're doing it the way I do it, or Robert does it, or maybe Tolga does it, then you know what, you have to kind of watch it. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm just kind of fiddling around with it. I haven't done anything. I'm learning. I'm still in the beginning learning stages, trying to figure out where I need to go, how much I have available to invest, what the return is, and what the term of length of term of how long. Because they're saying that it's not going to be 3 years. It's not going to be 3 to 5, 10. It's like 10 years from now. Forget it. There's going to be everything's either going to be digital, 100% digital, or there won't be fucking money at all. You'll be trading everything on. We'll be back to trading sticks and berries, for Christ's sake. Checker Six, good to see you, man. Good morning, everyone. I'm back straight out of Chicago. I thought you were about to go straight out of Compton. And then I was going to start singing, but because you're out of Chicago, I'm not singing. You care when it's credit card, dude. My credit card is guarded very carefully, only because price is not going down in the U.S. on silver. No, you're right. It's only going up. But anyway, my credit card gets guarded very, very carefully because I live on that credit card. Victoria and I live on that card. And we very simply, what we do is all our expenses go on that card on the month, with not our rent or our say, our utilities and shit like that. But all of our shopping, all of our shit, anything we do goes on that card, and then it gets paid off in full at the end of the month. Because I want certain perks and privileges and points that come with that level of having that credit card. So that credit card gets used daily, and it gets guarded very, 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 very carefully. Now, all my other credit cards actually have sit at a zero balance. I think I've got four total. I think Victoria's got a couple, but all mine are sitting at a zero balance, with the exception of the one that we run the house with. Patient, I meant, but it's not. But you got the point, dude. I knew what you were talking about. Yeah. I mean, you can double your money in the safe haven investment tools, even in max a few years, but it's really tough in the business area when you consider side cost and main cost too. Well, yeah, when you're doing it in the business, you got to remember what I'm learning, Tolga, is that everybody else has their hand in your pocket. There's other people that have their hand in your pocket when you're doing your investing. I don't like that. Tolga, I don't like that. I don't like paying anybody for touching my money. If I'm doing anything with my money, I want to, my money goes from me to the actual investment. It doesn't have to pass from me to a broker or to this and that, or somebody else is taking a slice out of that. I fucking hate that. I really do. That's why it's the same with trucking, right? I prefer to get my load, or I did prefer to get my loads without a broker, get direct freight, your own customers, that kind of shit like that. Cut that broker out. You're gonna keep another 20% of your rate. So it's the same thing when it comes to investing. And again, when it comes to silver and gold, this is new to me. So I'm trying to take crash courses here and learn as much as I can about this. Today's market opened with gold dropping 5% and silver 8% in 10 minutes. Right. And if it dropped 8% in 10 minutes or 5% in 10 minutes, realistically, you should be buying it up. Right. It went down 8%. That means that your investment went down 8%, but it also means that it's cheaper now to buy it than you bought it before. So you know what? Buy it now when it's cheaper, because tomorrow it may go up 20%. Who fucking knows? Broke ass people LARPing like they aren't bums. Well, I don't know, Alex. Who's broke? Are you broke? I'm retired, so I don't know what you're talking about. Bankruptcy is up 75% in the United States. I think, you know what? It's probably Checker Six. It's probably close to something like that in Canada. I don't know if it's 75%. But it's got to be high, man. It's got to be up there. It really does. I don't think I don't think it's getting any better anywhere, whether it be Canada or US. Repossessions are up. People can't afford to keep their cars. Dude, it's not just their cars, right? If you're a repo man right now, you're doing very well, right? Cars, trucks. Go look at Ritchie Brothers auction anywhere in North America. We got 3 very big ones up here in Canada. You guys got some massive ones in the United States, the Ritchie Brothers. And if just go look at the cars, go look at cars, go look at trucks. Guys are buying fucking trucks last year and they're tits up already. And the trucks are going into, they've been repossessed and they're at Ritchie Brothers right now. You can pick up a fairly new, not a brand new, but you'll pick up, say, a 1-year-old, 1.5-year-old, 2-year-old. You can get anything really. But if you want to stay in the new truck market, go look at Ritchie Brothers, man. People are losing their shit right now, and there's a lot of equipment going through those auctions. I'm also using digital markets and physical markets difference as an indicator to see real expectations. You see this kind of shit that you're talking about here. That's what I'm trying to learn, and unfortunately, Tolga, I'm playing catch up to other people, right? Because I don't know about it. I'm trying to learn as much of it as I can. For example, gold has lost almost 5% value since last night. But if you're gonna try to buy physically from the jewelry shops, OFCs, it's expensive, but they cut max 2% this morning. Yeah, see, I wouldn't buy from like a jeweler or a pawn or anything, anything like that. You've seen that show Pawn Stars or whatever, and guys will go in there and they'll buy silver and gold. I would never do that because, of course, the shop or the jeweler or whatever, they're going to get their slice, right? Robert has been very, very generous with me, and he's been, he's given me some very good websites for Canada. Like, he went and did the research for me. I didn't even have to do the research. He went and found the Canadian websites as to where to purchase gold and silver, so that I'm not paying brokers, I'm not paying jewelers, I'm not paying exchange rates, I'm not anything. There's a lot of times where you'll buy silver, but you have to buy it in US dollars, and then it gets exchanged into Canadian dollars. But when you do that, you lose a 1% or 2% or a 1.5% or whatever it is on the exchange rate. So now the exchange itself is taking a little slice. So Robert was very, very good about that. He was showing me these are the websites. He said, I've got all the websites and everything. So I'm like I said, man, I'm just learning, Tolga. So they are also expecting the prices are going to go high, and they don't want to sell. Well, that's why he's pushing it down my throat. Like, buy it now. Buy it now. Buy it now as much as you can. Basically, as much as you can comfortably afford. That's not what he said, Tolga. You know how Robert talks. Basically, what he was telling me is get as much as you can comfortably afford to purchase right now. Stay the hell away from silver and gold, bro. Look at the chart. They had their run. They're still having their run. Really high volumes on gold sell-off. Wow. Why is that? You got to remember, a lot of the times prices of silver and gold go up and down by how much is available, right? Everybody sits there and thinks that, well, the United States has, all the gold, and it's not necessarily the case. There's a lot of gold out there, but if gold production slows down, prices are going to start going up because it becomes more valuable and it becomes harder to get. And if you've got it, it's like any other market, Bassmatic. It goes up and down based on the need or the availability. If the market's flooded with gold, the price of gold would go down. If the market is tight on gold, then the price of it will go up. That's what I was saying about, at some points it's very much like stocks, right? But when it comes to, like, again, gold and silver, I'm not going to sit here and say that I know anything really about this. I am just learning. I am at entry level. I'm trying to learn as much as I can from Robert and from a couple other sources now that I've looked into. So you partially know that why I'm super happy to live in one of the highest inflation countries. Oh, dude. Come to Canada, Tolga. You want inflation? Come to Canada. You know, they joke, you sometimes see that chart with inflation and it's a balloon and it just keeps going up. Well, Canada has 3 fucking balloons all attached and it's going up. Canada's got inflation. Gold and silver pay no dividend once you put money in. It just sits. Plus, as a Canadian, you lose 2% on the exchange both ways. Bassmatic, no, there are sites in Canada. There are gold. We mine gold in Canada. And believe it or not, you can buy it directly from those companies. You don't have to buy it from anybody. You don't have to lose any percent on it. Okay. If you're buying gold from the company itself that's mining it, dude, this Alberta, Saskatchewan, Yukon, parts of BC, Ontario, and Quebec, they mine gold, right, in Canada. And what do you mean it pays no dividend? Right. Silver and gold are not something that you want to buy or that I would buy thinking that every month I'm going to take a dividend on it and it would be passive income. That's not why I'm buying silver and gold. I'm buying silver and gold right now and the fact that you know what? It's an investment now for somewhere 5 years down the road. That if I'm buying it for what was it? I think yesterday, the day before, it was $71 Canadian funds, right? It was 71.5 something 71 $71 an ounce. Let's just say it was $71 an ounce. And silver, not gold. And it was $71 an ounce. So 5 years from now, I'm anticipating that number is going to probably triple, maybe quadruple in 5 years from now. And that's my investment. 5 years from now, I'm going to pull that gold or pull that silver. And, depending on how much I have, that's a nice, tidy little sum. And if you buy it in the form of coin, well, that's currency. Now you don't pay tax on it, right? It's not. If you buy it as gold plates or gold, bars, that's different. But as long as you're buying it as in coin form, you don't pay tax on it. Once you guys going to be closer to 100% yearly inflation as well, I promise I'll directly buy my ticket and move there. I won't say buy, sell anything, but if you're gonna touch that certain idle amount of the money, but anything, whatever you want, but always remember that you have to wait at least 3 to 5 years. Exactly. And that's kind of the way I'm looking at this, right? I'm not doing this thinking that I'm going to play the market. I'm going to buy silver today at this price, sell it tomorrow. Not a chance. Okay. This is, there's a long-term goal here. I'm 55 years old. I'm retired from trucking. I still want to have forms of income coming in, passive income if possible. But gold, silver, like that is something that is say a 5. And I'll be honest, told you mine is, you said 3 to 5 years. Mine's 5. I'm just going to watch this and do what I can over the next couple of years here. And in 5 years, hopefully in 5 years, my investment and the amount that I've got invested will be able to pull out, and that will be a nice chunk of change. Where was all this big thinking 9 months ago when silver was $18? Bassmatic, I'm telling you, brother, I am absolutely telling you, I missed the boat on this one. I don't know what you did or how far off you did it, or if you didn't do it, but fuck, did I miss the boat on this? $18 an ounce 9 months ago? Are you fucking kidding? Dude, I'd be retired. Retired rich right now. Not just retired. I'd be retired with buku money right now if I was buying it at $18 a fucking ounce. The fuck is that? Yeah, exactly. Tolga agrees with you, right? So I definitely missed the ball on that one. I dropped it. I didn't even bother picking it up, man. Again, and well, actually, and here's the piss off for me. Okay, here's the piss off for me. Robert's been telling me about this for probably 2 years. He's been telling me about this for 2 years. Like we're talking like I could have been in on that 9 months ago. But he's been telling me about this shit for 2 years and watching where it's been going and the trend and everything like that. And you know what? Son of a bitch, if I didn't miss it. Or I just did oh yeah. I was more interested in buying a house and buying this and investing in that. And fuck, $18 an ounce. We're at $71 an ounce right now, give or take. I think it was 71 bucks or something the other day. So there's a nice chunk of change in there. That's a huge profit. Let's just say that I sank, nothing serious, but let's just say, I sank 10 grand into that. I bought $10,000 worth of silver at $18 an ounce 9 months ago. You know the fucking mathematics on that? That's a nice little piece of change there on 9 months. So imagine where it could possibly be in another 9 months. It's $71 an ounce now. Where do you think it's going to be 9 months or a year from now? We were having a similar conversation even 5 or 6 years ago, but some of our friends didn't even look that seriously at it, and look what happened. Dude, I was one of them. Tolga, I was one of them. I freely admit that. You know what? It just went right by me, and I missed it. I'd be laughing today if I would have listened to Robert 2 years ago. Robert's not here, but I know that he watches the replays, and I'm going to get a fucking slew of emails from him. I'm going to get an absolute slew of emails. There we go. Yeah, he's saying the same without reading my last message even. Yeah. When you're playing a market, you need to read charts. You never buy tops. Dude, I missed the boat on gold and silver too. So what? It's already sailed. I don't think it's sailed. I think it's still going. I don't think it's not like it's topped out. Gold and silver are never going to top out. It's not like a stock sometimes where a stock will top out and that's the best it's going to do. Gold and silver, I don't think it's ever going to top. If you watch the trend going back, say 5 years, it's always increased. The price of gold and silver has never dropped. It's never been a money loser. It's maybe gone flat for a little while, gone flat and it's leveled out, but then it eventually starts climbing up again. And that's just the way gold and silver works. What you need to ask is now what? The profits from gold and silver need to flow into other markets now. You know what? The way the industry is with the markets, I'm almost afraid. To be honest with you, I'm almost afraid to start in getting too heavily invested into markets, with all the bureaucracy, with all the show me a CEO out there that isn't crooked. Okay. And show me a CEO out there where the company lost, say the company lost on the last quarter, they lost $245 million, but yet his salary is fucking $100 million a year. How does that work? You know what? I'm not willing. And again, I don't want to take the time and the energy right now at my age to go into those kind of investigations. If I can come across something, for example, like gold and silver, that I can sink, $3,000, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 into over the next, say, 5 years, and the return on that is going to be double or triple, I'm good with that, man. I really am. I don't need a huge source of income. Okay. I've got, money coming in. I don't need that kind of source of income. So do I need to gamble with my money on the stock market or anything like that? People are going to say you're foolish, you're stupid, you don't know what you're talking about. Maybe that be the case. Maybe I'm considered foolish or stupid, or I definitely, there's times where I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But right now, I don't want to. You know what? I can go with silver and gold, and I can get a better solid return. It's like here's an example I'll give you. Okay, of my thinking. For years and years and years, I used to think that owning a home was a good investment. Enough. And it's not. I would buy a home and then live in it for 3-4 years, flip it, buy a bigger home, bigger investment, but all the way down the line. And as it turns out, it's ridiculous. It's not a good investment. It's not a good long-term investment, because I sold my last home in Lacombe when Dar and I split. Sold the home, buggered off. Everybody went their own way. But okay, I went back into the bank and I changed banks and I no longer deal with this and I'm at the new bank. And they always ask you, hey, do you have a mortgage or do you have a home? It's like, no. She goes, oh, well, would you be interested in coming and getting a mortgage? And I'm like, absolutely not. And she goes, well, why wouldn't you want to buy a house? Well, the average house in, let's say in Lacombe or say in Strathmore or around here is $500,000. Okay, let's just say round numbers, $500,000. So that means you need a minimum of $50,000 to put down. Now, I would never put $50,000 down. I'd put down, substantially more if you're going to do it, when you're buying a house. But let's say you put $50,000 down, you put down 10%. If I took that $50,000 that I put down on that house, okay, and then hold on, I'm going to pay the $50,000 down payment on the house, and then I'm going to have a mortgage payment, and that's amortized over fucking 25 years and all the way down the line. Okay, I can take that $50,000 and I can invest it in something that over that 25 years is going to give me a better term of return than that house will. In 25 years, the value of that house will not give me back what the money that I would have made on that $50,000 investment as a down payment. And she looked at me and she goes, you know what, you're absolutely right. I can't argue with that. And I went, oh, so I'll take my 50 grand to say thank you very much. I'm not buying a house. Buying a house for personal property to live in is not a good investment. If you're going to buy housing or you're going to buy, real estate, make it an investment, and it's going to, you do it with rentals, do it with whatever. But don't think that you're buying a house and that's going to be your retirement, because it won't. Especially for her. Yep. You good? You done? You sure? Okay. Anyway, good to see you, Ryan. How's things going? Old school? Good to see you, man. How's things, man? Damn good to see you, man. So, there's different ways to look at it. This is just the way I look at things for where I am and aspects of my life. I don't usually divulge my personal finances, and I haven't really. All I've said is, I'm looking at investing into silver and gold, and that I no longer buy houses anymore because just the return on investment. Unless you, especially where I am here, you can buy a house out here for $500,000, own it for 5 years, and you're going to sell it for 505. So are you making, is it worth your investment on a $5,000 fucking increase? No. I could have easily taken the down payment that I put down on that house, and it would have yielded me way more than $5,000 like I would have made on the price of the fucking house. So, things like that, I kind of already know, and I know how to play with and shit like that. And I don't. But I'm coming into something that I don't know about, for example, like silver and gold. And you know what? Hey, I want to learn. I want to talk to guys like Robert. I want to talk to guys like Tolga. I want to talk to guys, and then I want the ability. I need the direction from these guys as to where to go, what to look, and do my own investigating or do my own research into what I want to learn. You need to, what's that? Gold will slow bleed, making it painful as fuck. You can say fuck. You need to invest slowly so you don't get destroyed in your first 6 months. Just get an account open and dump it all in the money market ETFs where you can't lose. I don't know. I don't know what to say with that. You know what? I don't know. Again, I'm not a money market guy. I've usually had somebody handling investment or handling money shit like that. Myself personally, I don't right now. I would prefer to handle it myself because I think I can do better than them. I'm thinking Bitcoin will pump, but I'm not putting any more into speculate. Bassmatic, there's another one I dropped the ball on. really absolutely dropped the ball on. Dude, I had the opportunity when Bitcoin first came out. I had the opportunity to buy up a whole shit ton of it. And we're talking like, and back then it was for, a couple of $1,000 worth of Bitcoin back then would be worth millions right now. Again, missed it. Absolutely fucking missed it. Because it was Bitcoin and it was digital. Part of the reason I missed it was that I was scared of the technology. I'm not computer savvy. I'm not app savvy. I'm not, all of that kind of shit. So, when Bitcoin came out and I'm like, digital currency, where the hell is it then? Who's holding my money? How do I get my, it scared the shit out of me. So I went, nope, not touching it. Again, missed it. Phoop, gone. I could have retired fucking 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago. If I'd have jumped on the Bitcoin train. I know people that have. I know people that jumped on. Fucking buddy of mine, Pat, over in Germany, heavily invested in that, doing well. She's pissed. I don't know what you guys did to her. Which one of you guys pissed her off? She does. I think what it is the dog is laying over there, like just down the hallway. So the dog's laying in the middle of the floor right there, and he's looking right into the room here. And she's standing at the gate here because I've got a gate to the office here, so that he can't get in because her food and everything's in here. And if we don't put a gate on here, Charlie will come in here and eat all her food. She'll never see, she'll never get a drop of water and she'll starve to death. So we had to put a gate on here. But they're eyeballing each other through the gate right now. She's sitting right here beside me, and she's just staring down the hallway at Charlie, and Charlie's laying on the floor like this, looking at her going, yeah, come on, kitty cat. Gold is also break the 5% down after I talked about that. I think that I have to talk more and create more buying opportunity. So here's a question for you, Tolga. If I just saw that Basmatics had silver is down 8.55%. So are you buying silver right now? Now it's down 8.55%. Is that something that you're doing? I'm asking to learn here. When you see that it has taken such a drastic drop like that, do you buy more? And do you buy more than you usually would? Let's just say, let's say you're investing $1,000 a month into silver. And when you see it drop down to that, do you automatically go and invest and purchase more? Gold's down 5%. So is that enough that would entice you to buy more gold at this moment, knowing that at the end of the day it's probably going to go up and maybe go up and make some money, or when it opens tomorrow it might be, I don't know. This is what I want to learn. This is what I want to. It's not so much of how much money do I have to invest. It's when to invest it and when to, when gold is doing this, do I invest here or do I wait and invest here? Like, that's what I'm trying to learn, Tolga. Money market ETFs are the equivalent of cash. You get 3% dividend paid out monthly, no risk. So on that dividend, is it considered income? Do you pay tax on that? I'm not being flippant. I'm asking you a question. I don't know. No risk. My grandparents built a house in '84 for about 100,000. It's worth 450, but the amount they spent on upkeep and upgrades over 40 years. Exactly. Right. Now, when you say you bought, when did they say? In '84? So that's 30 fucking years ago. Right? 30 years ago. On a 30-year investment, okay, they've quadrupled their investment. They've probably put another 150 back into it to keep upgrading and keep, maintaining it and everything like that. If you'd have taken that money back then and invested it wisely, you'd have had much more of a return than your grandparents did. Quinn, good to see you, morning. Good to see you, morning. Good to see you this morning. I was told you can never cash out with the Bitcoin. I don't know. I don't know. No, actually, I do know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you can cash out with Bitcoin. Yeah. Good to see you, Mark V. How's things this morning? We're doing all right. It's on. It's down 7.32% on my live screen momentarily. I already got my position years ago, but if I was going to trade it weekly or shorter, I would definitely buy more. So okay, so that's what I want to know. When you see it drop like that, it's down 7.32%. Somebody like me that's not, say, invested as heavily as, say, you, or whatnot like that, that would be another good time to maybe take another couple of $100 and buy up what I can for not a couple $100, let's say $1,000, and buy up another nice little chunk of silver. But I'm a long-term investor and position trader, so I buy everything via almost all prices, but especially when they are getting down. Exactly. That's kind of what I thought. That's kind of what I thought. But again, I don't know. That's why I'm asking questions. When I don't know something, man, I'm going to ask you questions. You're doing good, Mark. Glad to hear that, man. You would pay tax on dividend. Sorry, you would pay tax on dividend if it's not in your TFSA account. Okay, so if you just took the dividend and put it in your regular checking account, it then becomes income, and then you pay tax on it. So people our age can have 100,000 in our TFSAs, 100,000 K in our TFSA, and not pay tax. Okay. How the hell did we walk down this road this morning? I don't have a goddamn clue. I am in a realm and an area that I know very little about, and that's very uncommon for me. I don't usually like to be, especially when I'm live. I don't like to be taken out of my comfort zone. Once in a while is okay, but this is way out of my comfort zone. And I think I've said here today more times than I've said in my entire life being live is I don't have a clue what we're talking about. I don't know. I don't know this. I don't know that. I don't know this. Fuck, I don't know. Fuck all. But that's good. That's okay. My daily or weekly trades are based on IPOs since a few years. I'm not in the FX market or anywhere else when the bots are captured, when the bots have captured all of the markets globally. It's been a bit more than 10 years. So you've been banging away at this for 10 years. And that's, you know what? I'm glad for you, Tolga. I'm actually, when I see people like you, and I see people like Robert, and I see people like, that have been doing this, and you're actually successful with it, and you're actually doing well with it, you know, um, that makes me happy. It makes me a little envious, be honest, but it also makes me happy. If you're one of these people that's got on the gold and silver market, or you've got on the Bitcoin train, or you've done well in the stock market because you've educated yourself and you've done okay and you're able to live on this and this and this, then you know what? I'm happy for you. You know what? Some of us had, I did probably, if I would have done this, I probably wouldn't have had to work as many years as I did. I could have probably, retired earlier. But unfortunately I didn't. There's been, like I said, there's been some good people. I've had Robert banging at me about, banging my head on this shit for a couple of years. Tolga's mentioned certain other things. My friend Pat, he's talked about stuff. My mother-in-law Marie, she is at times, because she invested well and did very well with her money, her and my father-in-law's money. And she at times had pulled me aside and said, "You need to look at this," and I just went, "Nah, you know what? I'm making this amount of money a year right now, as an owner operator and as business owner, and you know what? Missed the ball on that too." Speaking of good investors, there's another one right there. Look at that, man. Fuck, I love how you do that, man. Bull of the Woods, I love how you do that with your name. How the hell do you do that? Who else does that? There's an frickin' Ringo. Sergeant Ringo does that as well, as a name like that as well. There's got to be, I think there's a way to do it. There's an app or something you have to do it with, but damn, that's cool. I love that. And just know that there is no any bad investment. In fact, everybody have different risk understanding, and that's why everybody's going to have different aspect to investment areas. Well, you know what, Tolga, for me, it's a matter of don't rush in, because if I don't want to rush in because I'm panicked, right? And I know that I know my nature, right? I know my nature. All the years that I was in business and all the years I did, usually, I say usually, not always, but usually, anything I wanted to do was well thought out, well planned, well advised, and investigated, and then I'd pull the trigger on it. This is an area of scope of life in my life that I've never really dangled. I've never dipped my toe into this pond. So what I'm doing right now is learning. That's it. Um, I don't know what else to say, because I just don't know fuck all about it. Matt Iverson, good to see you, man. Hello, handsome buddy. Man, you get your eyes checked. I just got my eyes checked like last Thursday, man. You better go get your eyes checked. In the summary, the worst investment is no investment. Well, you know what? I've already learned that. Okay. I've already learned that. Basically, I wouldn't be investing more than our TFSA, because the risk isn't worth the reward with all the tax hassles. If you can't do it with the 100,000, then it's probably good there. Probably good. There's a limit. Okay. Again, Basmatic, obviously, this is some area that you know more than I do. It depends your age too. We all know that we're going to die one day, and we shouldn't search for max risk, especially after 40s or 50s. I wouldn't love to lose more time, to be honest, after my age. You know what? That's just something as well that I had to think about. Right at 55 years old, like I'm not don't I'm probably just past my midway point in my life. Hopefully I've got a few years of good living left to do. But is there an urgency for me to be doing this because I'm worried that I have to make it all now? It's not like trucking where you got to make as much as you can as fast as you can, because 6 months from now the market's going to crash. Is that something that I want to look at when it comes to investing? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. This is not a panic move because I'm 55 years old. I'm his age. That's why I'm talking him down from this ledge. Basmatic, am I on the ledge? Is that what That's fucking awesome, brother. That's fucking awesome. Very, very rarely do I ever have to get talked off down from the edge. But you know what? If that's what you think you're doing, hey, man, I appreciate it. If that's where you see me right now, because dude, maybe I'm on the ledge and I don't even know it, right? Maybe I'm on the ledge and I don't even know it. So if you're talking me down off that ledge right now and you're working with me, I appreciate it, man. Let's say the golden rule should be this: invest amount of money, just whatever you don't even care or going to affect your life quality of age. And you know what, Tolga, that's very good advice. And that's all I'm doing. I don't have millions of dollars to invest. I don't have, mega dollars or amounts, So when I'm looking at this, I'm looking at this in a way that, you know what, if I can do a little bit here, like say weekly, just a small investment here weekly, a small investment of this weekly, a small investment, and I'm talking minimal, like I'm not talking like thousands and thousands of dollars weekly, just something that's comfortable that I wouldn't miss. It's something that I would either blow on stupid shit anyway. So Jason Rules, invest in my company and be a millionaire in 5. Well, Jason, the fastest way to become a millionaire in your company is to start with 5 million. Invest in snowmobiles. Buy every unit within 50 miles. New units are 25,000 bucks. Out here, yeah, that might not be a bad idea. Investing in snowmobiles. Fuck, that's actually funny. Jason, what is your company, by the way? What is it? What is it? Your company? What is it you're asking me to invest in? Just curious. Asking for a friend. Money makes money, yeah. I know a gal who flips houses. It's quick cash if you got the skill. It's not always the skill. Um, there's a certain amount of luck. There is skill. Don't get me wrong. There's a certain amount of luck. I don't care what anybody in the market, especially in real estate, what they say. Nobody has a crystal ball, and nobody knows what's going to happen. If you look at all of these guys and girls that are, oh, you need to invest here 3 years, 5. Nobody fucking knows, especially when it comes to housing. Excuse me. But you can do well. I did. I was able to do well when it came to housing. Bought our first house, 4 years, flipped, 3 years, flipped. It kind of went along like that until you get to the last house. So you can do well if you there was twice where the house got flipped and then the market shifted and it was like, fuck, if I'd have sat on that for another 3 months or 6 months, oh, I'd have done so much better. I'd have done so much better. But who knows? You just don't know. If you're hanging out or if you're invested, I'm invested with the gal. Hey, if you're hung up with a sugar mama and she's in the real estate market and she's doing well, jump on those coattails and ride them for all it's worth there, buddy. How do I invest in bank? I heard if you leave for 10 years, you get good money if you have advice. 1984, you're talking to the wrong dude. I'm on here right now asking questions of people for investments and shit like that. Because I don't know. Like I'm talking to guys like Tolga, who's been doing this for years and knows what he's doing. I'm talking to that, I'm listening to what Basmatic is saying, because obviously he knows more about this kind of thing than I do. So if you're in here trying to asking me for advice, my advice to you is go find Tolga. Philly M, good to see you, man. Christian Bridges, good to see you. Flipping the house biz is always lucrative if the people have enough patience, for sure. It can be. It can be. It's one of those things that, like, here's an example right now, and this is, I will never buy another house for myself to live in. I just won't. But in the complex where I live, okay, these townhouses go for, they're not super expensive, only because of the area that I live in Strathmore, right? The market is not huge, right? It's only 15,000 population, 15,000 people. So in the area where I live, these townhouses, and there's probably about 15 different complexes of townhouses all through Strathmore. But there's several other units in here that are available for sale right now. And I've looked at the aspect of, okay, I could buy that one, and you can buy them, between two of them, you'd spend $625,000 for two of them, right? Put your down payment down, minimal down payment, and then rent them, because they're renting right now for $2,700. Well, the mortgage on these things is not going to be anywhere close to that, right? So that is something that I would look at as an investment like that down the road. The problem I have with it, living where we live in the area that we live, I could own those. I could pay $625,000 for two of those houses, and in 10 years, I'm going to sell them for $650,000. Yes, I'm going to make money on my investment through the rental, and the people are paying rent and this and that. But is it a good long-term investment for me? No, if I lived in a more lucrative, say I lived in Calgary, I lived in a more lucrative housing market, then yeah, probably. It depends on the market with real estate market. It does. But that's the thing. Nobody has that information. Nobody knows for sure. Nobody has that answer. Right. And anybody that says, oh, I know what the housing market's going to be doing 5 years from now, fucking bullshit you do. You don't know what the housing market's going to be doing 5 months from now. You're riding it along and collecting your fucking, your commission selling and buying and selling houses just like everybody else. 1984, invest in the deep state instead. Okay. Max, good to see you. Hello from England. Good to see you. Hey, we've got England in the house. Tolga's in the house from Turkey. Basmatic, well, he's just another Canadian. I say that. He's just another Canadian. Jim 64, good to see you. Jim, are you buying houses? Are you buying gold? Are you buying silver? What are you investing in, Jim? We're just batting it around, going, what's the probably safest and best return on an investment today? I've come to the conclusion that buying a house for myself and calling it a personal investment is not where it's at. 1984, thanks, man. Good to see you. Thanks, man. Thanks for hanging out. Silver and gold seem to be fairly safe investments. Basmatic is more along the take your money. Here we go. Here, ticker HMAX or bank on the TSX if you want to invest in Canadian banking. So just kind of curious where it is. Tolga's got some really good insight. Basmatic has some really good insight. Really, the best thing to do would be flip your primary residence every 10 years, and then it's tax free. Well, I never kept. I don't think I ever kept actually, the only house I kept over the 4-year mark was the last one that I had in Camden. I think that was just over the 4-year mark. I kept that one. Everything else was flipped between the 3 and the 4-year mark. And they don't allow to buy more houses in here with mortgage systems if you already have one. If you don't have any houses, they allow you to get the credit for under $24,000 houses. Where the fuck are you buying $24,000 houses? If you don't, holy shit. How come your trucking vids got more interaction than this, Brian? Jason, very simply that I'm not active enough on YouTube these days. You're the end all be all knowing, all seeing. When I go live for 4, 5, 6 days in a row, and then I don't go live again for say 6 or 7 days, your algorithm goes flat. And then, like, for example, there's 11 people in here. Today's the first day back. So watch on day 5. When I'm on my 5th day back, there'll be 50 people in here, 60 people in here, because your algorithm gets, YouTube picks up your algorithm, starts pushing it again. Algorithm goes flat if you don't do anything. If you don't put any videos out, you don't put any shorts out, you don't put any lives out, then it's very simple that they're not going to push it. They're not going to keep your channel here, when there's other people or other channels that should be. But you already knew that, buddy. Is the limit 4 years, not 10? I don't know. That was just a number that worked for me, Basmatic, right? I got lucky. I'm going to be honest with you, man. Some of it was a little bit of brains, but there was a lot of luck, and there was also some other people that I was taking advice from that knew way more about housing and the markets and how it all works than me. And when she would come and say, you know what, okay, I've got somebody, you just bought this house 3 years ago. Okay, this is what you paid for it. And she would know because she was the broker on the deal, or she was involved in the deal. And then she'd come and say, okay, I've got somebody right now that's, willing to go to this amount for that house, or I've got this, or, and you could see that, okay, if I paid 350 for it and 3 years later, I can sell it for 525, even after my, the real estate agent and the lawyers, they get their cuts. It's still a worthwhile flip. So then you flip it, but before you do it, you find your next home, obviously you get your pre-approval and all that kind of shit, and then you just keep doing that until you get to the point where you get to the last house, and what you make on the previous house is more than enough to either pay for the house that you want in cash or to pay most of it off, and you've got a very small mortgage. I mean, you can still find houses for under 24,000, but as you can guess, they're all pretty old houses, most for the credit system. Okay. Tolga, in Canada, for $24,000, you can probably buy yourself a cardboard box, and maybe be allowed to put it on a public sidewalk somewhere. $24,000 wouldn't buy you my driveway right now out here. So if you can buy an entire house for $24,000, dude, I'll give you, if you can buy me a house in Turkey right now, that, the cost of the house is 24,000, and let's say it needs another 10 or 15,000 to, get some upgrades or to make sure and then fuck, I'll send you the check right now. You buy the fucking house, find it, buy it. I'll send you the fucking check. And then you can be in charge. I'll pay you a very small commission of getting it rented out and doing the search and all that kind of shit. Fuck that. $24,000. I'm looking to buy something in the middle of winter when some to avoid utility bills. Basmatic, you know what? You can also, this is another option, and it was presented to me. Now, I never took it. I never took this option, but it is a good option. There are areas in the U.S., man, and you can buy real estate in the U.S. as a Canadian. Just remember that. There are some areas in the U.S. where, a house, for example, here that's 500,000. If you can find there's places you can go to look where people are, the houses are being foreclosed and they're losing them, and they only owe the bank another $90,000, and you're buying that house for $100,000. So that's another area to look at. They ain't that different than cardboard boxes either, and that must be the reason no one's living in them and the owners are trying to sell. Well, I tell you what, when $24,000, when it hits 10,000, let me know, because I'll give you 24,000. Then they can upgrade the house and winterize it and make it a nice house. There you go, Quinn. There you go. I 100% agree with that. 24,000 in Ontario might get you a year's supply of eggs and a 6-pack. If you're no, I don't even think you'll get the 6-pack, dude. Honestly, I really don't. I don't think you'll get a 6-pack out of that at all. You might get the year's supply of eggs. I just paid fucking almost $8 and something cents for 18-pack of. No, sorry, I paid $14.90 something for a 30-pack of eggs. And I think it was 8 something for an 18-pack. Jesus Christ, fucking since when? It'd be cheaper right now to dedicate an area in my house and raise chickens. Now that I've said that, T-Bone's fucking walking in here any minute now going, somebody say chickens? But it would. I could probably raise chickens. Fucking $18. $14 for whatever I paid. It was stupid. I stood there holding a carton of 30 fucking eggs, shaking my head. It'd be cheaper to own the whole goddamn chicken coop. Real estate is a market, not the economy. No, you're absolutely right, Basmatic. That's a very, very good point. But it's a big market, and a lot of what happens in that market is based on what's going on with the economy. I'm not knowledgeable of the real estate business, but would apartment work and mobile homes parks be a good investment collecting from renters? I don't know about mobile homes. Never dabbled my foot in that area. But apartment buildings, I have 2 friends that have done very, very well, not with actual high-rise buildings, but with like walk-ups, right? So I don't know where you are, Mark, or what area, what part of the country, or where you're from, but like out here, there's a lot of walk up. So it's like three levels, three apartments stacked on top of each other. And then there's, a walkway or stairwell in between, and then three more stairwell, three more stairwell. And you might have 12 units. So you might have 12. Actually, you probably have 24 units, because on the back of those units are another three. So you'd have, four times four blocks, six in each block. So you got 24 units. And when you buy those, okay, and those are rentals. Now, of course, you got to do your due diligence. You got to have your inspections. You got to have all your shit go in. Make sure that, you're not buying a property that 6 months from now is going to cost you another $1 million worth of upgrades or upkeeps or maintenance or shit like that. But there are places, especially in Alberta, and especially right now in Strathmore, you can actually seriously buy some of these places, like the whole goddamn complex or the whole goddamn building, and do quite well. You can. Is it worth the investment? How much time have you got? If you're looking for a 1 year, get in, buy, get in, and then get out in a year, no, it's not worth it. But if you're looking for something to say a 3 to 5 year investment, maybe, sure. Somebody's writing, it looks like Japanese, and Tolga is answering them. Holy crap. There you go. ST1, what's going on? Stone, ST1, Stone, what's going on? Wish me luck today. My CDL test. Go get it done, son. Go get it done. Stop talking about the places with cheap living. You're going to rise the prices up. No, it would take more than my big mouth. Trust me, Curtis. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Are you out? Are you out of, let's put it this way. Are you out of Ontario yet? Or are you still in Ontario? Canada feels emotional to me and irrational. So the market should follow that up and down, all around manic. Canada is a shitstorm right now, Basmatic. It really is. It's a shitstorm of people, places, and fucking things. Based on what may be coming down the pipe, for certain political things that are going on, and how they're affecting Alberta. I'm going to be honest with you, man. If the opportunity arose and everything was just perfect, I'd leave Canada. I'd leave Canada. I'd be out of here, gone. Sell it all, everything, walk the fuck away, and be out of here. Be gone. And you know what? It's not a far stretch, and Victoria is right on board with it. It's not like I'd have to drag her kicking and screaming. Here, we're out of here. We're going to, where we would like to go. I've just had enough of the Canadian politics and the guidance of our country, where it's going, the treatment of the Canadian people, the pure abuse of power of our Canadian government, and the things that they're doing with that. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth living here anymore. If you're 25 or under, get the fuck out of Canada right now. Okay, go somewhere else. Go to Europe. Go live in fucking Portugal. Go live in Spain. Go live in Italy. Go get out of here. Thanks, guys. I'm a little nervous. I'm a little excited and a little nervous. You know what? That's good. That's good. Feed on that. Feed on that. I'm very curious. I'm very curious. I'm really hopeful. I want to know how this works out for you. I'll be live again tomorrow. So Stone, come back tomorrow. Hold on. I got to take this phone call. Sorry. Believe it or not, that was an investment. I actually fucking, what are the odds? And I had to take that call. Sorry. So anyway, Stone, come back tomorrow. Let us know how you did. Okay, Tolga saying hi to Curtis. Sorry, I got a little behind here. The boomers don't understand they can lose 150 in value in 1 month. I can tell you that for sure, because I have literally seen a boomer, and I'm not just say it like a boomer, as in my father, who has a substantial, I don't know how to fucking say this, but fucking substantial amount of net worth. And he's a boomer. And let me tell you this right now. There's no reason for him to be as broke as he is, or to be in the position that he's in, with the amount of money that he had for investment and whatnot like that. So yeah, the boomers, unfortunately, can be easily taken. I don't want to say this in case there's any boomers in here, but fuck, let's go. Doing class 1 experience and equivalency program in Alberta, as I've had a class 3 no trailer license. Still in Ontario, I kind of like my job too much to quit. I kind of figured that's what was going to happen to you, but I'm glad to see that you're hopefully you're still looking. Okay, Curtis, I want you to look. I want you to look in Alberta. And I'm not saying that because I'm here, but Curtis, I want you to fucking seriously look in Alberta. Okay? Do me a favor. Do this for me, Curtis. Email me your resume. I'm not going to apply for jobs for you, but I want to see your resume. I want to see what's on it. I want to see it. And then I'm going to send you job postings that you may not be able to see and you may not find living in Ontario. And I'm going to show you the difference of what you're going to do and make out here. He was curious about what we think about Notorious W. Times. Mr. Rudolph said he's gone. Oh, okay. The pre-trip and backing up portions I'm nervous for. Take your, with the pre-trip, okay? Both of these, pre-trip, take your time. Okay? I don't mean take an hour and do a fucking pre-trip. A good solid pre-trip on truck and trailer is a 15-minute ordeal. Okay? If it's taking you more than 15 minutes, then you're looking at too much shit. Okay, but it should take you, and you should have a routine by now. You should have done enough of them by now that you know. You start at the front corner, the front driver's side corner of the truck with the hood up, and you work your way there, and you work your way down the driver's side, around the back, and back up the passenger side until you come around. And there should be a pattern and a system that you have. You go from here, follow the line from here to here to here to here to here. You know, all of the things that have to be checked on a pre-trip. Basically, you can make a dot-to-dot line and just follow the line. So you know, the first thing you do, you open the hood. Okay. Well, actually, before you even open the hood, you check your lights and your markers and your signals and all that kind of shit. Open your hood, right? Then first, what's the first thing that's sitting there staring at you when you open your hood? Your fucking tire, man, right? Take both hands, run it across the tire, check for grooves, check for anything nicked, anything like that. After that, look down in the inside of the tire. Look at your brake. Look at anything. Basically, I was always taught that anything you can put your hands on, touch it. Okay? Steering shaft, column, pump. If you can just put your hand on it and just give it a quick tink, just do it. Reservoirs, check your oil, blah, 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 blah. All of the things, anything that you can see or put your hands on, touch it. But do it in a patterned way so that it's like dump, da-dump, 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 da-dump. And, 15 minutes, you've got it done. Same with the backing up. Dude, take your time. They would rather see you take 2 minutes to back into a spot and do it perfectly safe and be straight than to do it in 35 seconds and you've nicked somebody. Okay? So that's just my quick advice to you. I made my first sale last week. Bruce Wayne on what? What were you selling? You look like a cool American grandpa that lets you drive his truck. Well, I'm Canadian and I am a grandpa. And if you want to, you can come on up here and drive my truck, knock yourself out. I'll pop in and let you know how it went. Yeah, absolutely. If the opportunity were to arise for me and my family to leave the U.S., I would take it. You know what, Bruce? You're not the only one. Canadians feel the same way. I would definitely be out of here, and I still might be. It's not like it's not like something that I'm. I'm sitting here going, well, I wish I could. I wish, when the opportunity is right for me, I think I'm pretty much done. It's just not worth it. I'm gonna go live at Tolga's place in one of his $24,000 fucking houses. I would beg to enter the USA and be able to stay. I wouldn't go that far. Basmatic, anything that's happening here is happening there. Different numbers, different sizes, different populations, but it's happening there. Sorry. Hello, brother from was that Chanchal, WB, India? Nice name. Dejanta. I'm not even going to pronounce that last name because, man, I don't want to insult you. I would fuck that up so bad, but there you go. Don't take an hour for a pre-trip inspection. I love your response. Hilarious, dude. But yes, I agree. Well, Mark, realistically, I can do a proper pre-trip and put my hands and eyes on everything that I need to, because they've got a checklist of say 20, 25 things or whatever it is, 30 things that they want you to see. They want to see that you've looked at or you've done. My theory has always been put your hands on everything. Look at fucking everything, but do it in a patterned way so you have a flow, right? So, man, I'm looking at everything, even though, the pre-trip, okay, they want to see that you've looked at the tire. They want to see that you've grabbed the tire. It's moved side to side, moved the steering column. But I put my hand on the pump. I put my hand, check my oil. I put my hand on hoses. Any silicone hose that's in under the hood of my truck, it's not on the pre-trip. You don't have to fuck, but I grab every single one of them. Make sure, give them a squeeze if I can to see if anything squeezes out. Even though it's not on their list, they see me doing that, or they see you doing that. I can do a whole pre-trip in 15 minutes and nail everything. Nuts on tires, fucking airlines, all of that shit. I can do it in 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes easily. America is the greatest country of the last 500 years. You know what, Rodeo? I'm glad you think that way about your country. You know what? I really do. I really am glad that you think that way about your country. I'm not an American, okay, and I'm Canadian, and I'm very proud of my country. I'm not proud of the politics or the face of my country. But when I say that, I'm leaving my country, I'm not leaving the country. I'm very disgusted with our political values and our political way of life and our the people that are the face of our country, which unfortunately we fucking voted for, Hold on. I keep banging monitors here. My apologies. We voted for, but I didn't vote for. But I'm disgusted with the face of the country and the path that has led my country down. I don't want to live here anymore. I don't want to live here. Do I feel bad saying that? Yeah, because my country's great. My country is one of the most beautiful places in the world. We're the second largest country square mile wise in the world. There's 47 million people living in Canada. We have 47 million people living in the second. We have the most beautiful shit up here that people have never fucking seen. And that's where I live. And yet I want to fucking leave. So how does that work? How bad does it have to be that I live in the fucking one of the most beautiful countries in the world and I want to get the fuck out? That's how bad things are right now. And you know what? Maybe there's people in my country that are going, fine, get the fuck out. You know what? Fine, I will. I won't let the door hit me on the way out. Trust me. That's how bad it is. And that's how I feel about it. When I look about what's going on with certain laws and bills that are going on and privacy invasion and freedom of speech invasion and rights and rights that we have as citizens that have been trampled and we didn't even fucking know it. And then one day you find yourself fucking in cuffs and in the back of a police car, or you're sitting in jail because of something you said online. Are you fucking kidding me? Something there, in Canada, if I was to dare, and I won't do it, but if I was to dare open my mouth right now and start saying certain things about prime ministers or politicians in such a manner that it deemed a threat, I guarantee you they'd be kicking the fucking front door of my house. I don't do that, obviously. I might think that these guys are fucking raging little twinkle toed cocksuckers, but I don't say it out loud. But is that enough to make me want to leave my country? Yeah, it is actually. And there's so much more. The ones I feel bad for are my kids and my grandkids, because they're not going to get the opportunities that I've got. I'm in a better financial position to be able to do stuff like that. These kids are fucked. These kids are fucked. If you're fucking under 30 years old and you're living in Canada, you are fucked and you don't even know it. Start buying lottery tickets. Place a dildo under wheel burner hood. That's not funny, car wash. That is funny, actually. I've seen that done. I've never had it done to me. And I've never done it to anybody, but I've know somebody that's been the recipient of something like that. Hood got popped open. There was a fucking, I don't know how many inches it was, but it was just fucking large. And there it was on the block. Plain Jew. Try having a pre-existing condition in a country run by what? Eugenetics? I don't have a. I'm sorry if I fucked that up, Bruce. I don't know what that word is. Eugenetics? Eugenics. I'm gonna have to dude. I'm gonna have to fucking Google. Somebody Google that word for me, please. Jesus, age jumping. Don't know what that means, but it doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound good. But one of the things that Bruce kind of just touched on, though, is if I'm to leave Canada, I'm going to lose my health care. I'm going to lose certain aspects and things that I do enjoy about being a Canadian. Again, do I have to weigh that out and go, is this something that I'm willing to give up and possibly pay out of pocket somewhere else in another country so that I have medical coverage and shit like that? At this point right now, yeah, fuck yeah. Not only yeah, but fuck yeah. It is. Like I said, it's not a matter of if I'm ever going to leave this country. It's a matter of when. My two oldest daughters already jumped that. That's what it means in Japanese. Well, that's awesome, man. I I appreciate that. Okay, now somebody want to translate it from Japanese back into English? My two oldest daughters have already jumped that. Both of them, neither one of them live in Canada. When COVID hit and the mandates hit and it was mandatory shots, neither one of them took their fucking shots. They left Canada, sold everything they had, businesses, condos, everything, cashed in and got the fuck out. Not been back since. Good morning from Oles. Rage in the Cage. Good to see you, man. Long time. Oles, Alberta. Fuck. Delete your local pedo. Delete your local pedo. MAGA are all pedos. Dude, you sure about that? I think you're working too hard on that one. I think you're working too hard. Olds, Alberta. I know where that is. Man, glad to have you. Glad to have you. We got a beautiful day over here in Strathmore. I don't know what you're looking at in Olds. Hopefully you get sun's up. We had a wind though. Goddamn wind. It's only 5 degrees right now, but the fucking wind is making it a little chilly. One thing I do not miss about Ontario, one thing I do miss about Ontario is because we're so flat out here, there's nothing out here to block the wind. Right now, I live in Strathmore, so that the town is only like 2 by 3 or 2 by something square miles, so it's not very fucking big. And I actually kind of live on the outskirts, so I'm on the outer perimeter of the town. And when the wind comes in, there's nothing blocking it. and it's cold. So, dude, hopefully, Rage, you're warm. Some of what you're saying happens here in America. Mark, I would imagine it does, probably on a larger scale. Because you got to think about it, you got 200 and what, 45 or 255 no, sorry, 355 million people in the United States, right? There's only 47 million Canadians. So, anything, you're basically tenfold us. The state of California has more people in it than my entire country, Mark. So when you think about it in terms like that, anything that's happening, right, in Canada, sometimes is a direct result of what's happening in the US. It'll happen in the US first, and then it's like the pebble in the pond. You drop the pebble, right? The US is the pond, drop the pebble, and then the ripples all go out, and Canada will eventually feel the ripples of what happens, and it affects us in Canada. But there are times where shit goes on or shit goes sideways in Canada, and you guys will feel the ripple. Right now, our government is breaking multiple laws or rewriting laws or instituting new laws when it comes to our rights for privacy, our rights to internet, our rights to fucking free speech, our rights, and they're just trampling the shit out of them. And I promise you, it's somewhere down the road, some of that is going to come. I know that some of it has already affected you guys, or you guys have had your own issues with certain aspects of your constitution or your amendments. But in Canada, it's ridiculous. I can be held accountable now for what I say online. What happened? Freedom of speech. What happened to the right to be able to express my own opinions and my own ideas? Same with same with Bruce Wayne. You are free to say what you want, how you want, when you want. I don't have to like it. I don't have to agree with it, but I do have to respect the right that you have that right to say it, whether I like it or not. Those kind of rights are being taken away from, and they're basically telling us, this is what you're going to think, this is what you're going to say. You're not allowed to say this, and this. You're only allowed to say this and this, and you're not allowed to think this. You can't. There's no more free thinking anymore. They want to think. They're writing laws now that they're making it so that they're doing the thinking for you. I don't agree with that. I can't live like that. I've lived for the most part in this country where I've had the right to say whatever I've wanted, go anywhere in the country that I've wanted, open my mouth, give my opinion if I want to. If I take a shot in the mouth for my opinion because I was shooting my mouth off, then I rightfully fucking deserve it. But on the other hand, if somebody else, like I just said, good morning, Stephanie. If Stephanie comes in here and she starts blasting her opinion of certain things, aspects, either religion, race, color, creed, fucking whatever, I don't have to agree with it. I don't have to like it, but I do have to respect the fact that Stephanie has the right to say it. I don't have to like it. I can be and have my own opinion on it, but I do have to respect that she has the right to say that. And then I may turn around and go, oh, well, she's fucking crazy, or she's nuts, or she's a bitch, or whatever. And that's my opinion, and I have the right to say that too. That is where we were. That's not where we are. They're taking all of that away from us. Freedom of speech is absolutely one of the biggest things that you need to hold on to. And Canada is losing it. Or they've already lost it. That's a shame. No, Frank, we're not thinking of no. Dude, you guys think about it, a population of 350 million people or 45 million people. You guys get your own fucking issues and your own fucking problems. What makes you think that we want to get involved in anything that you guys are doing? The United States has its fucking fingers into way too many things. I've dabbled into way too many things that are none of the American government's business, meaning outside of the country and outside, like the largest arms sales in the world is done by the United States of America, for fuck's sakes. There's a lot of aspects to being an American that are great. I can sit there as a Canadian and go, yeah, I would enjoy these as an American. But you know what? Your country's got enough issues going on. Why would I want to fucking leave my country and take care and come down there and deal with your country's issues, which eventually are going to come back and affect me? You know, it's one of those things. Waiting for election results to see if the WFers have been voted out. God, I fucking hope so. Oh, anybody that doesn't know what WEF stands for, it's a World Economic Forum. And every single one of those cocksuckers deserves a fucking kick in the teeth. No, you know. Yeah, most Western Canadians would separate and join the U.S. No problem. Just wait for the vote. Basmatic, no, they won't. They won't. They won't join the U.S. I guarantee you right now. Alberta and Saskatchewan, they may separate, but they won't join the U.S. They will separatist. They will separate as their own entity, as their own province, as their own self-contained, you know, separated fucking state of Canada. But they will not join the United States. You know, there's a lot going on in Alberta right now behind the scenes of what can be done and certain votes and who has to agree and what parties have to come to the table in order to force, you know, the federal government to recognize Alberta as a separate state or as a separate province. And a lot of that's going on right now. And I promise you right now, you will not see an American flag on Canadian soil or on Alberta soil. However, they decide to be recognized, whether it be an independent province, an independent state, an independent fucking whatever, its own country, its own entity, whatever. But there's a lot of stuff going on right now in Alberta where, you know, you have to, not only does the premier have to have X amount of the general population's vote to be able to step forward and say, okay, we're going to separate. You now have to have the rights, or you have to have the Aboriginals, or meaning the Indians and the nations. Those people have to be recognized and they have to be brought to the table and their opinions have to be thought of, and you have to talk about and then you have to have them on board. And then, you know, there's so many more. It's not just a matter of they take a poll and they throw it out there at all the Albertans, and Alberta, everybody goes, okay, yeah, we want to separate. And then the premier turns to the fucking prime minister and goes, okay, we're separating. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Alberta, believe it or not, is the only province, or one of the only provinces in Canada, that if they separated 100% from Canada, they would need no federal money. They can support themselves. There's not another province in Canada that can support itself 100%, be 100% self-supporting. Would there be a couple of hardships? Would there be some issues and shit that they'd have to nail out? Of course there is. Of course there is. You can't really. How would it protect themselves? How would they create GDP? Well, dude, what are you talking about? Frank, how would they create GDP? Canada's GDP is based on fucking Alberta. We give Canada, the rest of the provinces, Alberta gives fucking more money a year than they take in. And that's forced by the federal government. Alberta grows enough food for everyone? Sure. Like I said, Frank, there are going to be issues. There are going to be some things that have to be adjusted. But as a whole, could Alberta be self-supporting through its own contribution? Absolutely. Absolutely. How does any country, does the United States or does the rest of Canada supply enough food for everyone? No. They import shit from other countries. So why wouldn't Alberta? Same with the United States. They import food from certain types of foods and all sorts from all over the world. So why wouldn't Alberta? So yeah, Alberta would, Alberta grows enough food. You don't have to grow your own food to be a separatist. Okay. We've got the economy. We've got more money in Alberta than the rest of Canada. Dude. Does Ontario still drill enough oil for 100%, 120% of their own provinces? I don't think so. Ontario's contribution in 2023, Ontario had the largest GDP, followed by Quebec and then Alberta. But look at the province. Look at the size of the fucking province. There's only 4.5 million people in Alberta. There's 4 million people just in Toronto, happy dude. Karate chair. Yeah, wait, are you Canadian? Yeah, I'm Canadian. So at the end of the day, Frank, yes, obviously, I believe that Alberta, if it's separated, again, like anything, if Alberta was to separate, would there be some fine tuning and some tweaking and some shit, and would there be some hardships and there'd be some? Of course there would. Are they going to separate and everybody's just going to be fucking wonderful and rich and fantastic? No. But sometimes you got to break a few eggs to make an omelet, man. You can tell when Eastern Canadians tune in with their warped version of reality. You know what? It's one of those things that, you know what, if the province of Quebec, if the population of Quebec realized where a good portion of their fucking federal money or provincial or where their federal funding comes from, it came out of Alberta. The federal government takes, what is it, 16 something billion dollars a year out of the province of Alberta and disperses it. And so Ontario gets some. Quebec is a big benefactor of it. Some of the eastern provinces are big benefit. Come on, man. Alberta makes more money, you know, and if they weren't doing that, if they were not sending money through federal lines across Canada to all these other provinces and all, especially to the federal government, who's just going to fucking piss it away anyway. If they were keeping all of that in-house, I guarantee you they could take care of roads, they can take care of education, they could take care of healthcare, they could take care of provincial funding, they could take care of fucking daycare, they could take care of the veterans, they could take care of the elderly. The money is there. The money is there. They generate enough money. Oil, gas, and lumber. Just on those alone, some steel, but just those alone, oil, gas, and lumber in the province of Alberta. That alone. Maybe, but I don't see it happening. It's already happening. Frank, go look. Come on, man. You got to know what fucking Google is. You got to be able to use it. You know, just start Googling, Alberta separating from Canada. And then start fall down the rabbit hole, man, and go see where it leads you. Come back tomorrow and tell me what you're thinking. I think this is a government channel, man. No, Karate Chair, this is not a government channel. Believe me, we just kind of fell down. Again, we fell down this rabbit hole, unfortunately. We do not talk a lot about government if we can have to. I prefer to talk about trucking and maybe government and trucking. You want to do that, but no, we're not going to talk about. We're not even going to talk about any more government, because you know what? I've lost my taste for this morning. I really have. Government is one of those things that, I'll talk about and I'll shoot the shit with you about. But the problem I have is that I'm very passionate about a lot of the things and the ways that I think. And if I see stupid things going on, and when it comes to money with our country's money and how it's hurting people, the flagrant misuse of the Canadian money that we pay taxes on, that our government gets, and it goes overseas, out of country, up north, down south, fuck everywhere but back into our own country, and our own people are fucking hurting and dying and starving and fucking not getting medical, all the way down the line. It starts to rile me up, and I can already feel it. I'm getting riled up. I'm getting a little pissy. I'm getting a little this, and you know what? It's not worth it for me to, boost my blood pressure. It may have something to do with the Alberta moving a barrel of oil per day for every man, woman, and child in the province. I think it's more than that. I think there's more than that. 4.5 million barrels a day. I don't know the exact number, Bassman. You might be right, but I think it's actually more. Is that it? There's no such thing as government. Hell yeah. I don't know where you live. Alberta isn't just an oil field one-trick pony. Exactly. Our oil and gas, like, we haven't even tapped most of it. Like, we're sitting on what we've tapped and what we've got. I think we have the second. Somebody Bassmatic could probably Google this but I think we're sitting on the second or third largest world's largest reserve of oil. Canada is. second or third. Dude, all we've done is put the corkscrew in. We haven't pulled it out yet. It's called reality, and Canadians are really clueless. A lot of the times they are. But doesn't that bother you, Bassmatic? Doesn't that bother you? Doesn't it bother you that fucking many people, and I think unfortunately it's our younger youth, because they just don't care. They're more interested in sitting on their fucking couch doing this, playing with their phones, than they are about learning about their country and learning what's going to happen to them down the line as Canadians, and the rights that are being taken away from us now, that by the time that those kids are fucking, say, in their 30s, 40s, my age, what are they going to have? Bassmatic, what are they going to have? Like my kids, my oldest kid is 33, my youngest kid is 23. When those kids there are in my demographic, so say between 50 and 60, what are they going to have? Where are they going to be? What rights are they going to have? What are they allowed to think? They're not. They're going to be sheep. They're going to be just fucking like this through life. But they're going to be told where, when, how much, when not to. They're too lazy to even ask the questions. I agree with you. And it's not unless people like you or people like me or people like Tolga or people that are out there that bring it out there. And then they turn around and they look at people like me. Oh, you're just some old fuck. What do you know? Well, you know what? I lived through that. I know what Canada used to be. I know what the country, and then, my parents, what it was for them, that kind of shit. I look at it now and go, like I said, if you're under 30, you're fucked, man. You truly fucking are. Apparently it's still the same 10 years. Tolga, I agree. Canada has the third largest oil reserves in the world and the world's fourth largest oil producer and fourth largest oil exporter. Thank you. There you go. So, Frank, if you're still here, probably not. Canada is the third largest oil reserves and the fourth of export largest oil producer, and blah, 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 blah. Okay. So there you go. And out of all of that, I would probably say the highest percentage is coming out of Alberta. Yes, they pull oil out of Saskatchewan. Yes, there's some oil being pulled out of Manitoba. There's probably some coming out of off the eastern seaboards, out on the oil rigs out there. But let's just face it, the bulk of the oil and gas coming out of Canada is coming out of Alberta. If we were to shut off those pipes, build a couple of refineries or build our own shit here, I'm telling you right now, one thing that the federal government is stopping Alberta from doing is we're not allowed to export our own oil and gas to other countries. No, that has to be done through the federal government. And they're taking it and they're fucking screwing us on it. Could you imagine being the third largest fucking or the fourth largest fucking oil producer or the exporter in the world, and the federal government is stopping you? Canada is the fourth largest, but actually Alberta is the fourth largest. That's how that works. If Alberta were to shut the money stream, not the pipeline, shut the money stream off going to the rest of Canada, how well do you think Albertans would be living? Do you think we'd be struggling for fucking healthcare? Probably not. Do you think our GDP would be in the tank? Probably not. Do you think interest rates would be ridiculously high and people would be fucking hungry? Probably not. Do you think we'd have issues like like the serious homelessness issues, veterans issues? Do you think we'd have any of that? Probably not. So just think about that. You're still here. Okay, I'm glad you're still here. I don't get me wrong, Frank. I'm not pounding on you, making an example of you. But you made the comment, so let's just go down the rabbit hole and check it out, right? Don't forget about the tar deposits. Exactly, tar deposits. Fucking Alberta. Come on. We also know that oil consuming going to continue to increase until 2050, while the green energy hype in the world is on the other hand. Yeah, well, the green is not green. That's the fucking problem, Tolga. The green is not green. I don't care what anybody fucking tells you today. The green is not green. Green energy is not green. It's like Texas. It doesn't mean they could survive a split from Canada as a whole. Do you really think Alberta would survive a government beef with Canada? You don't think Canada would take steps? What steps? Okay, there are rights. If you go through the what is what if I'm drawing a brain fart. Invest in vegan meat. Okay, Jay. Everybody invest in vegan meat. Don't buy Alberta beef. Do you really think that Canada could say there are things? Jason Rules is here. He's the Google king of the world. Jason, what is it within our parliament or within our we have as provinces, we have the right. We do have the right to investigate and have the ability to separate from the rest of Canada, as long as certain things can be put into place and certain obligations are fulfilled. So I don't know. I don't off the top of my head. I don't know the name of it. There's got to be somebody out there that can Google that and find that out. Maybe even a blockade. What's Canada going to blockade? Dude, you can't blockade fucking our border from Alberta into Montana. 3 hours south of me is Montana. Were the Canadian government's going to do that? I don't think they would. I think that Canada would turn around and bend over backwards to try to keep Alberta as a fucking province within. I really do. How's that Beyond Beef investment treating you? I've never even eaten it. I've never eaten it in my entire life. I refuse. I only tried tofu fucking, I think a month or so ago for the very first time in my life. And I wasn't eating it because it was healthy for me or it was I was eating it because I'd never tried it and I just had to go, okay, well, try it. And I put it in my mouth and you know what? It wasn't bad, but I'm still not wrapping my head around the fact of eating fucking tofu. A purchasing blockade. What are they going to purchase? What are they going to stop purchasing? Alberta beef? That's fine. If Alberta was to separate from the rest of Canada, they wouldn't need Canada to purchase from Alberta. Because one of the biggest things that Canada does is it prevents Alberta from selling its goods to the rest of the world, oil, gas, lumber, whatever like that, without Canada taking the majority of the fucking chunk of that. So if Alberta has been cut Canada off and is now, let's just say it's a separate province or the country of Alberta, but we are now open to the world markets, we don't give a flying fuck about fucking Canada. Okay. There's 47 million people, 4.5 of them are in Canada or in Alberta. Okay, so if the other 43 million people that aren't getting our tax dollars, aren't getting our oil and gas, aren't getting our lumber, aren't getting our fucking tarp, they're not getting any of that, that's fine because we're now exposed to the rest of the world market. We don't need the Canadian market to support us. Between the US, Europe, and South America, are you out of your fucking mind? Yeah, I did actually. I'm in Alberta. I'm in Strathmore. A province cannot unilaterally separate from Canada. A constitutional amendment negotiations with all provinces and the federal government and adherence to principles of democracy, federalism. Happy dude, what are you saying? We're not allowed to do it by our constitutional amendments? There is a way to do it. It's out here already. I eat regular meat. How about a big bacon cheeseburger? Oh, dude, I'll eat that all day. Did it? It declared bankruptcy? That's good. Let's see how well that's working, eh? I'm not sure if you're joking or not, but there's already vegan burgers or exist. I won't eat them. Thanks for coming out. Constitutional rule of law and minority protection would be required. Right. But that's not saying that it can't be done. Okay. Maybe, let's say this, maybe I will go and, because there are some people here in Alberta that I know that I can talk to about this. What is required by law? What do we need to fulfill? What things have to be fulfilled and what are the requirements? And maybe, you know what, maybe we'll do a video about it and I'll drop it on you guys. You can see what we can see what you think. Okay. How would Alberta get goods to the ocean to ship? You know what, Frank? That you're right. There are going to be obstacles. I'm not saying that it's all going to be okay. We're going to make our borders, and this is going to be this. There are going to be obstacles. But do you think for a minute, Frank, that if Canada or Alberta separated from Canada, do you not think that the Americans in the southern, like in Montana and the United States, do you not think that they'd be sitting there going, "Hey, we'll get your fucking goods to port. Hey, we will bring your goods into here." Are you kidding? The Americans would be fucking frothing at the mouth to get at Alberta. But again, there's going to be hurdles to get over. It's not like it would have the Premier Danielle Smith is going to snap her fingers and make everything perfect and it's all going to work, everything to see. It's not going to happen. Okay, there is going to be shit that has to go down. Canada would not be able to send the RCMP into Canada. Absolutely right. That would be cool if they sent tanks. They sent tanks. What, Canada? Basmatic. Canada? Tanks? What, 1945 fucking what? Patton tanks? Please. Alberta would meet them at the fucking border with Saskatchewan with our 10 toughest Boy Scout troops and knock out the tanks. I don't eat fast food. Almost never. I never tried Burger King's vegan burger. Oh, God, that's disgusting. The only way they could separate would be with an agreement to serve Canada goods. You know what? And if they did decide to serve Canada goods, that's fine. I got no problem with that. We'll continue to serve you, but you're going to fucking pay for it. We're not giving the tax. We're not giving that revenue away, the oil revenue that the federal government takes from us. The oil revenue, or sorry, the gas revenue that the government takes, federal government takes from us. We're not doing that, and we're actually selling you goods and services. What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. So Alberta's first, maybe do a deal with like Puerto Rico, where Alberta is America without being a state. I don't want to use American dollars, and I don't want the. It doesn't matter if like Puerto Rico is an American. What do they call Puerto Rico? It is America. You're right. It's America without being a state, but that's for support reasons. Is America when Puerto Rico almost got wiped out? Did America jump up and fucking take care of it? Would like say if it was Florida or if it was New Orleans or something like that? No. Would we want to be part of America? No. Maybe some Albertans do. I don't. You see, Frank, and that's a very good comment. I agree with that. The payment would be allowing you to transport goods through Canada. Maybe so, but that's for people to negotiate. That would have to be negotiated. Like I said, it's not going to go without some hardship. It's not going to go without some negotiating and some I's to dot and T's to cross, and all of that's going to have to happen. It's not just going to be a super smooth, easy transition. All of a sudden, we are our own province, and we're no longer part of Canada. USA needs our electric plus water. You fucking fat. What the hell are you talking about? You talking to me? We already have the pipelines, dude. We do. We have the ability, not completely, Basmatic, but we have the ability in Alberta that we can pretty much move our oil wherever we need to move it to get it for export. We wouldn't have to like produce it and everything in Alberta and then truck it out of Alberta out to the coast or wherever else it had to go. Okay. We do have the ability to pipe it out to those areas, but it's still our oil. And yes, we'd have to pay something to pipe it to British Columbia or there would again, that's all negotiated. But at the end of the day, if you look at the big picture, we're talking about little increments of this, a little increment of that, a little increment. If you look at the big picture, Would Alberta be able to support itself as its own province or its own entity separate from Canada? Yes, it could. Is there going to be some hardships? Yes. Is there going to be some things that we're going to have to figure out? Yes. But it can be done. It's off the topic, but grilled shrimp with lettuce, tomatoes, avocado, bacon with a lime sauce on garlic bread would be great right now. Mark, grilled shrimp, man. I can't do the shrimp. Okay. I would do like a grilled Cajun chicken on what you just described, but I can't do shrimp. I'm not a big seafood guy. Do you seriously want to continue like this? Um, I wouldn't say we want. We don't need to go down that. Let's just be. We're not here to insult Americans. Americans aren't here to insult Canadians. We all have to get along. Then the rest of Canada, like Ontario, will get jealous. Ontario and Quebec would take a big belt, Basmatic. I don't know. For example, I don't know the exact dollar figure that of what percentage of the money coming out of Alberta, federal money that they take, goes to Ontario. I think Quebec gets a bigger percentage than Ontario does. But I don't know the exact dollar figure on that. But yeah, Ontario would definitely feel a crunch. Quebec, you know, Quebec, put it this way. Quebec doesn't produce their own oil and gas because it would cost them too much to get it all set up. And the amount of money that they get from Alberta would be equivalent to what they would make doing it themselves. So why go to work? Basically, that's what Quebec is going on with Quebec. It would cost them equivalently what they get in subsidy from Alberta. So why go to work? It's the same amount of money. They're not coming out ahead. Alberta is going to build a wall and America is going to. That's funny as shit, Ryan. Canada can't do it without Alberta. Well, Canada would have to do it. Well, here's an example. Detroit Mike, how many times has Quebec threatened to separate? And it's to the point now, the next time Quebec threatens it, it's like, fucking go already, right? Just go, right? Please, just take your tabernacle and get the fuck out of here. Nobody gives a fuck about Quebec. Would they give a fuck if Alberta did it? Would you be going, all right, go already. Take your beef, take your oil, take your gas, take your lumber, and fuck off. Anybody in Canada be doing that? I don't think so. People with shellfish allergies are allergic to cockroaches as well. Same family. The hoops Alberta will need to jump through are not going to matter when you look at the money that it will be raking in. You have to spend the money to make the money. Quinn, that's very well put. It is. Like I said, we're looking at little things here. Okay, yeah, we're going to have set up. They're going to have to set up trade deals. Yes, you're going to have. But when you think about it, we don't have to sell our goods back to Canada. We've got open market to the world now. Yes, we're going to have to transport them maybe through Canada, and that kind of shit's going to have to be negotiated. And is Canada going to try to fuck us? Yes. But you know what? If Canada decides, okay, we're going to fuck you on that, and then Alberta's going to say, well, I'll tell you what, stop fucking us and allow us to trade and use the other east and west parts of the country to move our goods to ports or bigger, whatever like that. And we'll cut you a break when we sell you our oil and gas. You'll get your oil and gas from Alberta cheaper than say you would get it from wherever wherever they get it from. That kind of shit's going to be negotiated. So Quinn, you're absolutely right. We are neighbors, Canada and the United States always. Well, you know what? Unless one of us gets up and moves, it's the way it was, the way it is, and the way it's always going to be, man. You talking about two different things. Quebec sucks. Hey, dude, Detroit Mike, I will not disagree with you. I don't go into Quebec. The only time I ever go into Quebec is when I'm working or when I was driving. And so that means I'm getting paid. You have to pay me to go to Quebec. And while I'm in Quebec, I don't spend a penny. I don't buy any. I would never buy any of their fuel. I didn't stop at their restaurants. I didn't even go into the fucking Quebec, like anywhere in Quebec. I didn't go into the Tim Hortons. I would not invest a single dime of my money into fucking Quebec. They would not get it. The only thing they got and would be their fucking road tax, their road tax and shit like that. Other than that, I don't go in. I've got family that lives there, and I have on occasion gone and into, say, Montreal to see them. But then again, it's the same fucking thing. I'm not giving you fucking money. Like if we went out for dinner, I wasn't buying that day. Not that day. No, thank you. So do I agree with Quebec? No. If Quebec took their ball, which is fucking deflated anyway, and went the fuck home, see ya. See ya. I think what Quebec was hoping for was that we would go, and they wanted to separate, and then because Canada would then be on both sides of them, like it is in Alberta, right? We have BC on the west, and we have Saskatchewan on the right. But in the eastern provinces, they'd have Ontario, which is a massive powerhouse, right? Biggest populated province in Canada, and a huge manufacturing, huge industry, huge da da da. And they were thinking, okay, well, we're just going to fucking sit here and close the border, and we're going to be Quebec, the country Quebec. Viva la Quebec. You can suck on my dick. But we were going to do all that. And you know what? Guess what? Any goods and services that were coming through out of Ontario or Western provinces going out to Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, PEI, or Newfoundland, we're going to make it as difficult, and we're just going to tax the shit out of you. Well, guess what? The United States turned around and said, yeah, you can bring it through here. Fucking Quebec went, great. What are we going to do now? Well, then, yeah. Like I said, you're not getting a dollar of my money. Quebec would be fine separating because they have so much hydro built with federal cash. Oh, Basmatic, isn't that the truth? Right? When the United States, pretty much, let's just say the whole eastern seaboard of the United States relies on electricity coming out of Quebec and Ontario. Right? Quebec and Ontario, the two powerhouse fucking provinces. Ontario being the powerhouse, the power, and fucking Quebec being the house. But yeah, on Quebec Hydro, not a single fucking dime of Quebec Hydro was built with Quebec money. It was all done through federal money that was fucking subsidized and given, and they begged, and oh my God. Well, then, welcome. Always here in America. Well, you know what? I don't know, Mark. I don't know if you'd want me to be an American. I may turn around and start digging and become a terrible American too. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a terrible Canadian. Like Quebec's hydro is 10 times that of the entire Saskatchewan grid. Oh, Basmatic as well. Well, think about this here. Do you know they sell, like Quebec Hydro sells a lot of, like I said, they're responsible for a good portion of the power going down the eastern seaboard. But do you know what their own fucking residents are paying for fucking power out there? Basmatic, you'd be happy if you're in Ontario paying what you pay, which is still ridiculous considering Ontario is a massive powerhouse of selling electricity. They sell electricity to Americans, pay less for their electricity than fucking you do in Ontario. Do you know that? How is that right? Ontario Hydro sells electricity to the United States, the eastern seaboard. Those fuckers pay less for it than you do, and you're in Canada, in the province, selling it. Dude, you should move to Alberta, Basmatic. Tell you what, dude. If you start driving right now, what's today? Tuesday morning? Monday morning? I don't even know what fucking day it is. What day is it? It's Tuesday morning. So if you leave right now, okay, Tuesday morning, it's 10 o'clock for me right now, so it's noon for you. So if you leave here at noon on Tuesday morning, noon Wednesday, Thursday, depending on how far, you'd be here by Thursday night. Be here by Thursday night. This is the office and studio and whatnot, but there's another bedroom right here. Bring your wife, bring your kids, bring your dogs, come on out to Alberta. You don't need to quit fucking around in Ontario. You know you want to be here. And here's the thing. In the event that Alberta does I'll be baking chicken. Yeah, I'm in the middle of a sentence and fucking Stephanie fucks me up every time. I'll be baking chicken today, Brian. Thanks, Stephanie. In the event that Alberta does separate, okay, you may want to be here when it does, because good luck getting in afterwards. Good luck getting in afterwards. I think the U.S. is going to buy a great amount of beef from Argentina. The news just passed, but trying to correct the results. I didn't hear about that. I don't know about that. Argentinian ranchers won't gonna like the idea anyway. Either way, you're always welcome to America. You fit in here. Well, Mark, hey, you know what? I've spent a lot of years in the United States. You know, I trucked most of my life, a good portion of my life. A lot of that was in the United States. You know, we'd leave Canada on a Sunday, and by Sunday, mid-morning Sunday, or by noon Sunday, we were in the US. And then you'd go maybe Tuesday, Wednesday in the US, get reloaded, you come back up, depending on where you're going. It may be Thursday, maybe Friday morning before you got back into Canada. So you know what? It's the same. It's I've spent probably more time in the last half of my life in the United States than I have in Canada. Damn, I definitely would like to go back to Canada. I thought it was so beautiful. Oh, Stephanie, you'd love it here. You would absolutely love it here. Canada is basically America anyway. They are looked at as genetic America. Who looks at us like that? Tell me who looks at us like that. Really. I would love when people, Frank, and again, I'm not picking at you, but don't use words like they. Okay, Canada is basically America. They are looked at as who's they? Don't turn around and say, "Oh, the world stage," because that's a cop out. Okay, that's not true. They are looked at as a generic. I think the rest of the world already sees Canada as America's brother. I don't think so. Canada is its own entity, its own country, its own everything. Ever since fucking look at Canada fucking stormed the beaches in Normandy. Okay. Canada was there in every conflict that you've ever been involved with. Okay. Canada's been sitting there side by side, separate country, separate entity, separate government, separate everything. British citizens, Irish people. You can watch streamers say they are genetic American. You really want to, Frank, you really want to fucking take the words of the Brits and the Irish? Okay, so you've got the Brits with a population of what? 60 or 80 million fucking people, and the Irish is what? I don't know how many people the Irish, how many there are in Ireland. So you're saying that those people there are the world stage of, telling us that we are basically part of America. We are looked at as Americans. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think Frank, and I can say this, that you know what, if you traveled the world, and I'm not saying you haven't, but maybe you have, but if you traveled the world and you've gone through Europe, most of Europe, Australia, South America, South Africa, you go through all of these, and you say Canada, the first thing they don't think of is America. They don't. Okay. If you say America, they don't think the first thing they think of is Canada. That's not how that works. Dude, I can go, and this is not a shot. If you're an American in here, I am not taking a shot at you. Okay. But if I was, let's just say I went over to Europe right now, anywhere in Europe, let's just say I was going to go, and travel around Europe, and I was going to take a couple months. And I had a knapsack on my back with a Canadian flag. And I was with an American with the same knapsack and a big American flag on the back of his. Who's going to get the friendlier welcome? Who's going to get the friendlier welcome? This is as simple as it gets. You go all the way through Europe, you go through South America, you go through fucking South Africa, everywhere you go, the Philippines, the Orient, anywhere you go. if I have a Canadian fucking flag on the back of my knapsack and you've got an American flag on the back of your knapsack, which one of us is going to get the friendlier welcome? The one with the money? Wrong. Wrong. I'm just talking in general. If I was to get off an airplane and start walking through the airport and people fucking greet you or see you or whatever like that, who is the one that gets the friendlier welcome? The Canadians will. The Canadians, not the Americans. And I'm not saying that's not a shot at you, but your government has dabbled in so much fucking dirty shit over the years with every country in Europe and all over fucking North America and South America. The fucking other countries have had enough of it. Right? So if I come walking through the airport with a fucking Canadian flag on my knapsack and Frank, you have an American, they're going to look at me a little differently. They're going to look at you. They're going to give me a more friendly, they're going to give me a friendlier fucking welcome than they will you. That doesn't mean they're going to take you out and fucking stone you. That's not what I'm saying. Okay. But what they are going to do is if I need something, I need help, they're going to jump a little fucking quicker and a little faster and they'll be a little friendlier to me. That's all. There is no reason to start a business in Canada, and there hasn't been for quite a while. It's just Walmarts and dollar stores. Well, it depends on what you're doing. Bassmatic, you can still do okay if you're cautious and careful in trucking. Go become a real estate agent. I don't know a lot of real estate agents that are fucking starving right now. Become a load broker. I don't know a lot of guys, those guys that are starving right now. You can do okay in Canada with starting a business, but you better know your market. You better not be involved in anything that has to do that the Chinese already have their fingers in, because they'll just walk over you and flood you. I would bet there are a lot of people that don't even know what the Canadian flag looks like. I'll take that bet. Okay. Again, you're speaking in general terms. I will bet. I'll take that bet. I'll take that bet. Tell you what, Frank, I'll take the bet. I'll tell you what. You and I'll pay for it, Frank. I'll pay for it. You and I are going to we're going to go to Europe and I'll pay for it. Flights, accommodations, and everything. Okay. You put your American shit together and I'll put my Canadian shit together and we're going to go touring around for fucking 3 weeks. Okay, Frank? And if at the end I'm not more recognized and treated better than you are, of course I'm paying for it. But if I am, you reimburse me every penny. Would you take that bet? Online, it's probably easy to go, yeah, fuck yeah, I'll take that bet. I would put my money where my mouth is on this. And really, Amazon is the coup de grace. Yeah, well, there's another one we dropped, eh? Everybody should have invested in fucking Amazon all these years ago. Countries beg for American goods, American fast food when it's Are they begging for Tim Hortons in the Philippines? No, but they got McDonald's. Hold on. You're talking about mass population differences. McDonald's has been around longer than Tim Hortons. Tim Hortons was presented to a country at that time that probably had 30 million people and you had 300 million people. Look at it that sense. Okay. When you look at exposure, yeah, McDonald's was able to turn into a global fucking brand because it had 300 people all eating fucking Big Mac, 300 million people all eating Big Macs at record rates. Tim Hortons is not a fucking brand that you can do that with. Although I bet there's a lot more Americans that would want to drink Tim Hortons than Dunkin' Donuts. How does that sound to you? Does that sound fucking ridiculous to you, Frank? How about when we go to an Asian country and not European? What's the difference between Asians? Where do you want to go? Japan, Philippines, any of those? I can guarantee you, man, that fucking Canadians down there are much better treated than the Americans are. Even in China. Chinese want your money. They don't want you. You show up with the American flag, unless you've got $30 billion in your pocket, they want nothing to fucking do with you. Me? Hey, they'll take me about and show me the fucking country. Just our 2 cents. Again, Frank, I love this. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out. I love what you're saying. I'll talk to you about it all day. You want to debate? We'll debate. You want to be, as long as we're being, cordial with each other and nobody's being rude and neither, nobody walks away with hurt feelings. I'm all good with this. I really am. Did I miss? I thought I missed a comment there. I know I've missed a couple. So I guess if I go to Europe, I guess if I go to Europe, I want you to come along. I don't feel like Clark Griswold in National Lampoon's Vacation, Holiday Road. You know what? I got no problem with that, Mark. As long as you're paying the bill, dude, I'll go anywhere you want. You can't talk with 8 billion people one by one anyway to create a solid statistic. It doesn't even matter. Also, Tolga, you're right, but it's good conversation. It really is. It makes for good conversation, and the fact that Frank's in here, and he's swinging, and I respect that, and I appreciate that. I don't have to agree with Frank, and Frank doesn't have to agree with me. You know what? These are two separate men that are just talking, and I don't have to agree, and he doesn't have to agree with me. But you know what? Hey, it's a good conversation, and I appreciate that. I appreciate a good debate with anybody. I really do. And today, Frank just happened to step up to the plate, and he started swinging. So hey, I'm good. I appreciate that Frank's willing to do that. Anyway, with that, I have to go piss, man. I've been sitting here for what? Almost 3 hours. I've drank 2 cans of pop and a coffee. I'm ready to burst. Anyway, you know what? Frank, come on back. We'll do it again. I'll talk to you about it. Talk to you about anything else you want. Tolga, as always, I appreciate it. Mark, thanks for being here. Appreciate you as well. Basmatic, I learned a lot from you today. Man, I did. I learned a lot from you today, just like I learned from Tolga and like I've learned from Robert. You've said some things that have made me have to think. I got no problem. I don't know all the answers to everything, especially things that I want to know. Fuck, I got to learn. And you know what? There's been a couple of things where you've said something and I've gone, son of a bitch. Okay, I'm going to have to look at that. So for that, my friend, I say thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate your honesty and I appreciate your candor. Same with you, Frank. Gold is down 5%, but Bitcoin is up 2%. Probably nothing, right? Oh, fuck off. He knows I'm leaving, so he's going to throw that out there. Is that your parting gift to the world, Basmatic? Fucking there's your gold exchange and your Bitcoin. Anyway, you know what, man? I'm gonna go have a leak. I'm gonna go have something to eat. And I'm going to take my dog for a walk. And after I'm done that, we'll probably go live tomorrow. I'm going to go horizontal tomorrow. I'm going to go, so it's not on vertical stream. I'm going to go horizontal to see what that does. Just, I don't know. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Keep thinking, everyone. Hey, you know what? If we all stop thinking, the world stops. Look at the silver, though. It's still going down. Well, if you own a shit ton of silver, you're probably going, oh, damn. But since I don't own any right now, it may be might be a good opportunity to drop some coin and buy some silver. Anyway, you know what? I'm not sitting here doing the pee-pee dance with you guys, looking at you guys. So I will see you guys later, man. See you tomorrow.